It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. Devastating news for the Tigers game last night. Jackson Jobe out for the remainder of 2025 with Tommy John surgery. And this potentially impacts what the Tigers are going to do at this year's upcoming trade deadline. We heard from Scott Harris say they are going to be active at the deadline, and they want to figure out what their weaknesses is with this team before making any radical moves to acquire players. Well, a weakness now could be the back end of this starting rotation. Tarik Skubal, Jack Flaherty, who has now bounced back with a few good starts in a row, and Casey Mize seem to be the only healthy starters right now for the Tigers, and Mize has struggled in his last few outings. Reese Olson, we really don't know an update on his injury status. And then your fifth starter is a combination of Sawyer Gipson-Long, Kiter Montero, a couple young guys that are still raw, trying to get their experience in, and Alex Cobb, who we haven't seen yet this year, and who knows when we'll see him. So the Tigers' rotation that coming into the season seemed like one of the most deepest parts of the team and strongest parts now looks like it's going to need some help come late July. It sucks that Jobe's going to miss all of this year and likely a good chunk of next year, but the Tigers can't let it hinder their potential World Series run in 2025. Bullpen arm and a left side infielder were the main needs for the Tigers at the deadline. Go ahead and add starting pitching to that list. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
Hey everyone, Brad Tunney here with the Mitt. And I want to talk to you about my friends over at Maple Hill Nursery, one of the great local family-owned businesses in our region for over 40 years. Now, their specialty is in landscaping with expertise and high-quality trees, plants, and shrubs. They're also a full stocking dealer of Dairy Dew, and they've got polywood furniture. Now, I've got it all over my backyard. It's maintenance-free and long-lasting and comes in 18 different colors. Stop by Maple Hill Nursery, just 2.5 miles north of the Midland Mall on Eastman.
It's July, it's hot, and Bounce and Bites is bringing the splash. Every bounce house, slide, and inflatable at our event will be soaked and ready for action. Water slides, splash zones, and giant slip and slides. Bring your swimsuits, towels, and sunscreen. We'll have the food trucks, the music, and a whole lot of good vibes. It's free to attend, and every dollar raised helps local kids get involved in sports, music, and more through the Moody Foundation. Join us Sunday, July 20th in Midland. Details at bounceandbites.com. The word bounce, the letter N, the word bites.com. The Moody Foundation, making a splash for a great cause.
Another episode takes over Dow Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Loons returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse yourself in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks Loontacular. Presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Appointment radio across the state.
Remember that. Hello and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show on a Thursday. Hope everyone's having a good start to their morning. Look, man, we've got a jam-packed show coming up for the next 3 hours. Obviously, we've got an Around the League. We've got some random Thursday thoughts to do with the U.S. Open and a few other things. We're going to recap that finals because it is not going the way that we expected at all. The one thing that I have been bugged about the most, not bugged, the one thing that it's been brought up to me the most is our lock of the day. Seems to be very popular, and it hit again last night. We'll get another lock of the day to end the show, as we always do. Tarik Skubal went on a podcast and gave us an exact number that he would sign for. I'm very excited about all these things. But I have a question for the people out there. Is it possible for the best team in baseball, the Detroit Tigers, to have a truly awful day Because if it is, it was yesterday. That might be the worst day of the Tigers season. Not only because they got blown out 10-1, not only because Parker Meadows is, I don't want to say like the panic button's out, but it's over there and kind of monitoring it. Just kind of like, hey, where's the panic button? It's over there? Okay, cool. Just want to know. But the worst news is Jackson Jobe, the Tigers' 22-year-old rookie, is getting Tommy John surgery and could miss anywhere from 12 to 18 months. He was put on IL May 30th with a flexor strain in the elbow, and we found out yesterday, right before the Tigers' first pitch, it's done. He's done for the season. Look, this is devastating. I don't think there's any way around that. And as much as we've celebrated this Tigers season, this does feel like a gut punch, and it reminds me a little bit of when Aiden Hutchinson got hurt. It's like, yeah, the Lions are steamrolling everybody. Beat the hell out of the Cowboys. It was awesome. But it didn't feel like a win that day because you lost your star player for the remainder of the season. And not only did the Tigers lose their young star, star might be a little bit of a stretch, but their youngest prospect on the team, essentially. Not only do you lose him for the year, but you get destroyed 10-1. The offense doesn't land a barrel to the ball for a few innings. The offense struggled once again yesterday. And then the bullpen, once again, just got absolutely lit up. Holton gives up a run. Hannafy gives up 2. Brisky, they left him out there to die, gives up 5 runs before he could get a singular out. That's all he needed to end the game. And then Mize on the mound, back-to-back weeks, back-to-back starts. It just hasn't been great. You know, yesterday wasn't as bad as the start last week. Yesterday, 7 Ks, 10 swing and miss pitches, 8 hits, 2 runs, and a home run allowed. But not stellar, not what he was pitching at the beginning of the season. And then the one thing that comes to mind as well is Parker Meadows comes up to bat, and it's like, whoa, what is that batting average? What's that OPS? Not very good. And again, he's only, played in 9 games so far this season, so no reason to panic yet, but I'm looking around and trying to locate that panic button. Yesterday was a disastrous day for the Tigers, but with that being said, they're still in first place in the American League in the AL Central, best record in baseball. So there's not reason to freak out, but a sad day nonetheless because your star guy in Jackson Jobe, the person you have set to be the future of this franchise, out for the remainder of the season. Out most likely next season as well. In a little bit, I want to share with everyone someone I think the Tigers could be replacing him with. You go around, look at the trade deadline. All we've done for the past week basically is to look at who's available. What do they need to add? Is it a bullpen arm? Is it a right-handed bats play on the left side of the infield? Now is a starter in the realm of possibilities. We'll get to that coming up at about 9:15, but Kyle, that was just a devastating day all around for the Tigers. And I don't want to, sit here and ruin everyone's Thursday because we still got a fun show planned out. But you go to bed last night after the game, and it's like that could not have been a worse 3-4 hours for Tigers fans across the board. Nothing went right.
Yeah, I mean, even if they win, I don't think it mattered. Like you said, I thought the Hutchinson thing was a good correlation there. Obviously, not quite on the same stardom level, Jobe versus Hutch.
Of course.
But just the feeling of this 2025 Tigers group hasn't had many sad days, right? Think about all the bad days Tigers fans have gone through the last several seasons. A handful every month, it seems like. But this was the first true, really bummer of a day for Tigers this year. But they can't let it get in the way, right? They've been without Jackson Jobe already for the last couple weeks, continuing to win. Jackson Jobe isn't as much as I am excited about his future in Detroit, he's not a top 3 pitcher, top 4 pitcher on this team currently. So it shouldn't hinder their, postseason outlook, rest of the season outlook that much. It sucks for him, for sure. Mm-hmm. It sucks for the Tigers fans, for everybody involved.
If you're trying to keep an optimistic look on the Jackson Jobe thing, and this is a tough way to spin it, but the one thing I would say is he is surrounded by guys that have gotten Tommy John surgery before, in Tarik, Skubal, and Casey Mize. And I think
AKA every pitcher ever.
Yes, every pitcher ever. I think they were looking to avoid this. He got put on IL May 30th, and now it's June 11th. June 11th is when we found out. He's done for the season. And we kind of had a hint that was going to be the case. He got pulled from that game, didn't speak to any media, wasn't able to be seen. They didn't even allow media in the clubhouse, and that whole game, his fastball velocity was down 1.5 miles per hour. And it was like, that's strange. Something's up with that. Then he's not available, and you start to wonder yourself, like, what could possibly be
And we never
happening?
got an update either.
We never got an update. Yesterday was the first time they came out and spoke about it, and they said, yep, we're shutting him down for the season. The unfortunate part about it is he's probably out all of next year too. And the other thing, I don't know if you remember us talking about this preseason, Kyle, was or during spring training, was you have a choice to make here. You can have him on the team at the beginning of the season and hope he goes and finishes top 3 in Rookie of the Year, which he wasn't really on pace to do, but hey, long season. And if that was going to be the case, you were going to get a bonus draft pick compensation to reward that. Or you could keep him out for the majority of the season, bring him back in the second half, and you would still gain an extra year of team control. They lose out on both those things now.
Well, he still won't qualify as a rookie, though, right?
When he
Like,
comes back
probably
the
won't
following,
meet the.
when he comes back in 27,
Well, just from this season is what I'm saying.
I feel like he would.
I'll have to find the innings qualifier for that. But yeah, it was the neither option, obviously, with the injury.
Yes, and now, again, to your point, was he one of the 4 best guys on the team this year? No, but every game you saw a little bit of progression. It was, that cutter's looking disgusting right now. The fastball's getting faster. Like, you could see the flashes of stardom in there. Needed to get a little bit more under control, but obviously not something you want to see go away for the rest of the season. And now I start to wonder about, okay, I look around. Jackson Jobe's out. Keider Montero's not necessarily someone you trust in a postseason game. Neither is Sawyer Gibson-Long. Casey Mize is starting to fade a little bit. Maybe the Tigers do need to add a starting pitcher here at the trade deadline. And someone came to mind, a former Cy Young winner. I want to tell you guys about it coming up here in about 7 minutes, 9:15. We'll get to that. But before we get to any of that, the game itself last night was awful. The Tigers offense couldn't figure out how to get a hit. Bo Brisky is now like number one least trusted guy in the bullpen. He needed to go out there and get 1 out. And he gave up 5 runs before he could do that. That's the kind of stuff where it's like, all right, you kind of just got to throw this one out the window. I don't know. Maybe the team already knew that Jackson Jobe was done for the season, and that seems more likely than not. But I don't know. Maybe they found out that news, and it was just kind of a deflator for the whole team for an evening. We talked about the chemistry so much and how this team passes the vibe checks in the dugout, in the bullpen, and yesterday just didn't embody that whatsoever. I almost wonder if getting the official word that Jackson Jobe wasn't going to be playing for them again this season kind of deflated the spirit in the dugout and in the bullpen yesterday. That's my only explanation for how bad they got lit up yesterday.
What even happened? I mean, they gave like 5 runs in the 9th inning. I know obviously the game was over, but next thing you know, it's 10-1 out of nowhere. Those games happen, obviously. We've gotten used to it at this point. You'd love for them to salvage Game 3 today, and obviously with Tarik Skubal on the bump, that makes you a little bit more encouraged.
Yeah,
but
that's what he does.
Everything
Fixes your
possible
problems.
went wrong yesterday.
That's what Tarik Skubal does. He fixes your problems. He's on the mound again today. Got to get back in the win column with him on there. It's as simple as that. That's what your ace does. You lose a game the day before, you got your ace out there the next day, and you feel as confident as ever that they are going to be able to pick up a win here today and win the series. Do you know how many series they've lost since the beginning of May?
1, the Cleveland one?
Cleveland, and then they lost a series to the Rangers. They've lost 2 series since the beginning of May. I feel very confident in their chances of winning tonight and know that it's not going to be the lock of the day because anytime Tarik Skubal's on the mound, it's just ridiculous odds, no value. All right. Like I said, we've got some trade candidates, a former Cy Young winner that I think the Tigers could chase this deadline to replace Jackson Jobe, and obviously Casey Mize starting to slip as well. Maybe they do need a third arm. Who is this year's Jack Flaherty is the question. Who is the guy that's going to be dealt at this year's deadline. The starting pitcher, I guess last year was a right-handed pitcher. I've got a right-handed pitcher. Who's the best guy that's going to be available, and can the Tigers land him? That's all coming up, and of course, we've got some Thursday thoughts. We've got an Around the League coming up in a little bit. All good stuff planned out on this Thursday here on the Ben Bosscher Show. Hey, the U.S. Open is on right now, and it started to remind me of Kyle and I's experience at Sandy Ridge last week. And you guys can tee up at Sandy Ridge Golf Course as well. Midland's hidden gem where every round feels like a little bit of a getaway. Now featuring a brand new clubhouse, part lounge, part hangout, all class, perfect for cooling down or talking smack after 18. Not something I can be doing because usually I'm well over par at that point. Smooth greens, scenic fairways, and enough birdies to make your buddies jealous. Whether you're a weekend warrior or just in it for the vibes, Sandy Ridge brings the game and the chill. Book a tee time, plan your outing, or just stop by and pretend you know how to read a green. Sandy Ridge Golf Course, the hidden gem that's way too good to stay a secret. All right, that trade piece, the former Cy Young winner that I think could be a Tiger in about a month and a half, coming up next year on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Looking for the perfect golf getaway? Tee up at Sandy Ridge Golf Course, Midland's hidden gem. Whether you're a scratch golfer or just out for fun, Sandy Ridge offers a beautifully maintained 18-hole course, friendly staff, and unbeatable rates, plus a brand new clubhouse. Book your tee time today at sandyridgegolfcourse.com or call 989-631-6010. Sandy Ridge Golf Course, where great golf meets pure Michigan beauty.
Are you new to investing and not sure where to begin? Start by looking for a financial advisor who will offer you a strategy personalized for you and your family. One who will be there as your life and financial situation changes. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we'll focus on what's important to you. We use an established process to create personalized financial strategies backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
Mountain View Restaurant at Apple Mountain, where casual elegance meets breathtaking views. Our new expanded menu features a wide variety of dishes to satisfy every palate, from fresh seasonal options to your all-time favorites. Whether you're hosting a client lunch, enjoying happy hour, or planning a date night, we have the perfect setting for every occasion. Don't miss our weekly features and refreshing beverages. In the summer, dine al fresco on our beautiful patio and soak in the scenery. Mountain View, where great food meets spectacular views.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or paper wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text CLEAN CAR to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Fantastic Thursday so far. Kyle has an update on whether or not this qualifies as Jobe's rookie season or not.
So it's kind of interesting because the rookie eligibility qualifier is 50 innings pitched. He's at 49 innings pitched this season. And it doesn't say necessarily if that's a combination of this year and last year as far as total goes. So There's a chance that was that T-Bad or something.
Yeah, I didn't like this. I don't like this.
There's a chance that this could not qualify as his for sure rookie season. I'll have to do some more research on that. But he's at 53 innings pitched in his career, 49 coming this season.
So hopefully the Tigers get an extra couple of years, honestly, because he's probably missing all of next year too of that team control, which when Chris Ilitch is in charge, obviously goes a long way. All right, so Kyle, with him being out for the rest of the season, he hasn't been one of those guys that's like been lights out, this huge part of the rotation, but you lose a starter nonetheless. And Casey Mize has started to slip as well. So I started thinking to myself, maybe the Tigers do need to add a third arm here. Maybe that is more important than the actual bullpen. And there's someone who comes to mind that I think would actually be a great fit and trade candidate for the Tigers this offseason. I'm essentially asking myself, who is this year's Jack Flaherty? Who's going to be the best starter that gets moved at the deadline? And are the Tigers going to be able to capitalize on it? They were on the other end of it, obviously, last year by trading Jack Flaherty. There's a right-handed pitcher who's 29 years old, former Cy Young winner. Right now, his team is dead last in their division at 25-41. Not only would he be a Tiger the rest of the year, but he has 2 years left on his contract, a team option after 2027, not a UFA until 2028. He's having a down season, Kyle, to the point where I think the Tigers would be buying very low on him. Someone with tremendous upside who has shown in the past he can be one of the best pitchers in baseball. Do you know who I'm talking about?
You know, I'm trying to think about it in my head, and I'm quickly looking at the standings to see if I can guess it via that. Sandy Alcantara?
Sandy Alcantara, former Cy Young winner just a few seasons ago. So 2022, he wins the award, led Major League Baseball with 228 innings pitched, 6 complete games, and 8 WAR, was maybe the best pitcher in baseball that season. 2023, his ERA jumps, nearly doubles, 4.14, and then gets Tommy John surgery, misses all of 2024. Comes back this season and has been a shell of himself. 3-7 record, 7.14 ERA, 1.5 whip, the same amount of Ks as he does earned runs. That is why I think this could be a buy low situation if the Tigers were to go all in and try to trade for a Sandy Alcantara. You know, so I look at this situation. He's struggling. He's having the worst year of his career. You know who else was having the worst year of their career before they showed up in Detroit? Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty was a shell of himself that final season before he showed up in Detroit and got to work with Chris Fetter. Flaherty, when he joined the Tigers in 2023, was coming off the worst year of his career. He got traded in the middle of it. First half was with St. Louis. Second half was with Baltimore. He was lucky he got another starting job. That's how much he was struggling in 2023. The Tigers bring him in. Chris Fetter works on him, and suddenly he's one of the best right-handed pitchers in the game. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but certainly the best right-handed pitcher that got moved at last year's deadline. Sandy Alcantara is someone who has struggled mightily this season. But the last 2 starts against notably the 2 worst offenses in Major League Baseball, 12 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks, only 2 walks, 73% of the batters he's faced, it's been a first pitch strike. I look at the Marlins situation. They're in dead last in their division in the NL East, like I said, at 25-41. They have no postseason aspirations. They've got a guy on their roster in Sandy, and a former Cy Young winner, that's kind of just sitting there. You can get something for him right now. It may not be what you could have got for him 2 years ago when he was winning Cy Young awards, but you look at the Marlins farm system that ranks 16th amongst Major League Baseball. They've got 5 guys in the top 100. 3 of them are arms. So they've got the guys to come up, and you hope, I mean, putting Cy Young expectations on anyone is crazy, but you've got the future right there in the system. You've got 1 shortstop and 1 catcher as the other 2 to make up the 5 guys in the top 100. How would you like a first baseman? How would you like Chase Young? How would you like Hao Yu Lee? Jose Briseño? Seems like a good fit to me. I'm down to make this trade because I don't think the Tigers would have to give up Max Clark or Kevin McGonigal for someone with an ERA of 7 that has the ability to tap back into himself from a few years ago with the help of Chris Fetter and hopefully turn himself back into maybe not a Cy Young pitcher, but someone who can be the third guy on this team and give the Tigers some life outside of Flaherty and Skubal.
The only thing that scares me here is hasn't really been elite in 3 years now. Missing all of last season, and then the year after the Cy Young season in 2023, followed it up with an average season. Wasn't an all-star, was not nearly a top 10 pitcher in the National League or anything like that. So, and then obviously really bad this year. So it's now 3 years of not being elite. That's a good sample size, obviously missing an entire season in the middle of that, but it's a little scary. I wonder, with him being under team control for more than just this season, how much the Marlins would ask for. You would expect that maybe the Tigers would be acquiring an expiring starter.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, with Jobe likely missing time next year, it would be not a bad idea to get a guy that has an extra year of team control.
It's a pretty scary sight for other teams across the AL for the next year and a half of Skubal, Flaherty, and Sandy, if he can tap into any sort of version of himself from 2022. And if there's an organization that can do it, I think it's the Tigers with Chris Fetter.
That's fair. That's a good point because the Flaherty comparison is very good. Also was dealing with several injuries leading up to his poor seasons. But they got him at a cheap price, and that's kind of what the Tigers have done with these pitchers. They pick up guys that are kind of at their lowest and get them back to where they once were, and that's the definition of what they could do with Sandy.
Buy low. Buy low. Sounds like a discount to me. 989-837-6125. Would you be willing to move some pieces to try to bring in the former Cy Young winner, Sandy Alcantara? Or who are some other guys you'd like to bring in at the deadline? I know Kyle's got some guys. We'll get to that a little bit later on. 989-837-6125. Let's hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, let's hop into today's news. We talked about it, obviously. Tigers lose 10-1 yesterday. Jacksonville out for the season. Nothing new news-wise. But tonight, Tarik Skubal versus Dean Kremer in Game 3 against the Oilers. 6:35 first pitch, so a night game in Game 3 heading into another series. Tomorrow, looking to take the advantage, though.
It's the second time you've called the Orioles the Oilers.
I said
week.
Oilers again?
You did.
Man,
Good
that's
job.
really screwing with me. We got the Edmonton. It's just messing with me.
Hey, they play tonight too. You're just such a
They
hockey
do.
guy. It's in your head all the time.
Right, of course, yeah. Worth noting, Dean Kremer, former Loon. A little lefty-lefty matchup here. That's
Good pull.
fun. All right, let's talk about the Oilers since I basically already just brought them up. Edmonton, Florida, Game 3 tonight, or Game 4, excuse me, tonight, 8 p.m. Panthers are up 2-1.
I think you already know what we're doing for our lock of the day later, Kyle. If you've been listening, if you've been an everyday listener,
Fade
you know.
Ben. This has
Fade
been
Ben. Relax.
If you would have been
I'm
fading
up on
Ben
the
on
day.
this pick.
I'm up on the year.
Not with this pick.
Not with this pick. Today's the day it turns around.
Could be. Let's talk about the NBA. Obviously, we're going to talk deeper into it later into the show, but just a quick overall. Pacers, winners of Game 3 over the Thunder last night, 116-107 to go up 2-1 in this series. Thunder were minus 700 favorites coming into the series and currently are down 2-1.
And guess what? They're still favored.
I mean, I don't blame that.
We'll get to some more NBA in a second.
Okay, valid. U.S. Open started today, day 1 of 4, obviously, at Oakmont Country Club. This is the 125th U.S. Open. Currently, Rory McIlroy, second at 2 under, but obviously a lot of guys still yet to tee up.
So, what is up with the greens here, man? This from everything I've read, this is like the hardest course ever.
Yeah, this is, a lot of people refer to this as the hardest course in America. In 2017, only 5 guys shot under par on the entire weekend, and they've since renovated the course to make it harder since then. The greens are just, there's not a single level green. They run like crazy. The rough here is absurd. Like, the grass is incredibly long in the rough, and it's right up to the green being that way. So
I'm looking at it right now. These guys are like, you can't even see their shoes if they're standing in the rough.
yeah, it is. I saw one golfer say that if he could just trade in a 3 over, like if he could just guarantee that he shot 3 over, he would take it. on the entire weekend.
It's kind of loser mentality if I've ever heard.
It's just kind of funny, though. So we'll see, obviously, how things go. We'll keep you updated throughout the weekend. Aaron Rodgers, we got more Aaron Rodgers news. And this is some funny one, Ben. He got married this offseason and just didn't tell anyone. Found out yesterday. He wore a wedding ring to the press conference. Reporter asked him, hey, is that an aura ring? He said, no, this is a wedding ring. He got married a couple months ago.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care about his personal life anymore.
Couple more things. Yesterday, obviously the Kevin Durant trade has been basically confirmed that it's going to happen. The teams that are reportedly interested are the teams that you would expect. The Knicks, Rockets, Spurs, Timberwolves, and Heat are the 5 teams reported to want KD.
From a selfishness standpoint, like just as a fan that wants to be entertained, put him with Wemby, man. Put those two demons together. I'm not the biggest Kevin Durant guy, but I think putting him in a situation where he's not the best player, he's not the franchise guy, but still someone who could help you immediately start winning, that's where I want to see him. And to put him next to Wemby, I think could launch them into a team that's ready to, I don't know about contend, but go on a little run here in the postseason.
It might make more sense for them to do that than the Giannis deal, too. As crazy as that sounds.
Well, you don't got to break the bank for Kevin Durant.
You keep the
37.
second pick, too.
Yeah. You wouldn't give up the second pick for KD.
Pro KD to the T-Wolves. I think that's fun.
Go play with his little buddy, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I think that's super fun.
Hey, speaking of the NBA, Game 3 yesterday, the Pacers end up on top. This series has not gone at all the way that Kyle and I, and really the whole world, has expected it to. That's next here on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Great Lakes bounce-back winners on Wednesday, beating Wisconsin 4-2 to even up the series at 1 apiece. And the story of the game for the Loons, once again, Eric Swan continuing his stellar June, picking up right where he left off after that no-hit performance against South Bend. And Wednesday night, back at home in Dow Diamond, put up his career high in Ks with 8 of them. Here was his 7th strikeout to close out the 4th inning.
1-2. Swing and a miss from Dinges. Swan matches a career best 7 strikeouts. Another slider, another T-Rat swinging through it. It's been quite a June for Eric Swan.
Swan picks up the win for the Loons, going 6 innings, 8 Ks, allowing just 1 run and only 2 hits. Great Lakes looks to take the lead in the series with Wisconsin on Thursday. First pitch, 7:05, pregame coverage, 6:50, 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Mary Draves, former Dow executive and leader in the Midland community.
I think as we get a little bit older, we start to care less about what other people think.
That's really a great point, yeah.
And so as I've gotten older, I think I've become way more comfortable in who I am and what I am, what I stand for. And, when you get to that point, all of a sudden, you become less apologetic about who you are. You also, you're like, hey, this is me, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And I think in my 20s versus maybe I'm in my 50s now, it's a very different person. And that's just really part of the continuum of growth.
Yeah. Listen to the full interview with Lisa on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford. Hey Midland, join the Silver Sneakers and Renew Active programs at the Midland Community Center, where fitness for seniors is fun and free. With Silver Sneakers and Renew Active, seniors 65 and older enjoy access to Greater Midland Community Center, North Family Center, and Holman Family Center, all at no extra cost with eligible Medicare Advantage plans. Dive into all group fitness classes, exclusive Silver Sneakers classes, and our Greater Midland Walking Club. Get moving with Silver Sneakers and Renew Active at the Midland Community Center.
At Aird & Garcia Insurance Group, they understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. That's why they're dedicated to working with our clients to provide an insurance plan that's specific to you.
Whether you need life, home, auto, business, and farm, with their team's extensive knowledge and over 100 years combined experience, you can guarantee they work hard to put you in the best insurance position.
The experience matters. Aird & Garcia Insurance Group, Farm Bureau Insurance.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got it. On Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
My name is Luis Fonsi. No one should face Alzheimer's or other dementias alone. Resources are available at alz.org and by calling the Alzheimer's Association's 24/7 free hotline at 800-272-3900.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
The NBA Finals continue. Game 3 last night. The Pacers come out on top once again. These fourth quarters have been dominated by this team, shockingly, because the Thunder have been so good in the regular season. In the fourth quarter, the defense tightens up. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does his thing. But it feels like the Thunder are the team that are playing on their heels, and the Pacers are thriving in these late-game situations, as they've done throughout the entire course of the playoffs, while the Thunder, they've been good throughout the course of the playoffs in the fourth quarter, but against the Pacers in the first 3 games, it's felt like they've tightened up a little bit in these fourth quarters, and obviously the Pacers come out on top in a tight game last night with the help of none other than Benedict Mathurin. Kind of a shocking twist there. This whole series has been a twist because, like you said, the Thunder were minus 700. You and I both kind of thought Thunder in 5, Thunder in 6 if they're lucky. Now I'm starting to think to myself, I don't know, man. It feels like the Pacers really have a chance to do something pretty historic and probably be the strangest NBA champion since maybe it'd have to be before the Raptors even, right? It'd have to be going all the way back to...
This would be going back way far.
I don't remember off the top of my head how much of underdogs the Raptors were against that Kevin Durant Golden State team, but obviously all those injuries ended up
They weren't
happening.
as big because KD was injured coming in, and obviously Clay gets hurt.
This would be one of the stranger, I don't know, since the 2006 Heat, but then again, they had Shaq and Dwayne Wade.
The Pistons were major underdogs against the Lakers in 2004.
Yeah. But minus 700, this is unheard of. This could be one of the biggest upsets in the history of the sport. And really, all 4 major sports. You're not going to see a minus 700 team lose in the finals very often. This is mad to me. And they're still favored. That's how much Vegas respects them.
Thunder team. This is a heavy favorite, like you said. Last night confirmed
Go ahead.
that this team can win the finals to me.
For sure.
Now, I still don't think they're going to. But last night was the real, and obviously it shouldn't take till game 3 of a team that made the finals to be like, oh yeah, this team could win a championship. But it just felt like this was a historic run that obviously was going to end in the finals. But after that game last night, they were in control a pretty good amount of the time. They closed out completely in control, whereas game 1 was like a crazy comeback. They hit a bunch of threes in the last 3 minutes of the game and win it. Last night was like they controlled that game and won.
It feels like the Pacers have kind of bought into this nobody believes in us mentality. And the funny thing is each round that has gone on, it's been more and more like, yeah, that was fun, but nobody's actually believing you. I picked the Bucks to win in the first round against the Pacers, and I feel pretty stupid for doing that, obviously. But my thought process there was, hey, the best player in the series is playing in a Bucks uniform, and that's enough for me to, most of the time pick that team. Obviously, they cruised through the Bucks, right? Then they cruised through the Knicks. That was in the conference finals. But now they're in this finals, and it's like, yeah, but minus 700 for the Thunder. Good run, guys. Everyone's picking Thunder in 5. And they've just totally embraced that, and it feels like I'm ready to run through a wall watching this team, how hyped up they were in their home crowd last night. I started to wonder myself why this team is winning, right? And one of the first things that popped into my head was, if I'm a basketball player, who's it more fun to play with? Shai or Tyrese Halliburton? And in the case of Tyrese Halliburton, in the case of anybody, you're looking for someone to play with. You want someone you trust late in the games to hit big shots. You want someone who, when your team's trailing, pulls you back into it no matter what. But you also want someone who's always looking for the best shot for the team, not just hunting their own shot. purposely trying to get everyone else involved, right? Taking, EQ into consideration here. You got to get your guys involved early to keep them engaged on the defensive end. You got to make it very clear, especially as the point guard, that we need everyone else to step up. We need guys to score. They had him mic'd up yesterday. He's telling Pascal Siakam, come over here. He's communicating with his team. But most importantly, he's pushing the ball ahead. He's not being selfish when it comes to shot creating, and he's going to always find the open guy. Shea's a great passer, but he's a score-first player. And sometimes I wonder if these Thunder guys, not that anyone's not engaged defensively on this Thunder team. It's one of the better defensive teams we've seen in the last few decades. But I wonder if everyone kind of just standing and watching Shea on offense has led to some of this late game stuff where if it's not Shea hitting big buckets, nobody else is really stepping up here because they're not used to the ball being in their hands late in these games. They're just used to deferring to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Meanwhile, everyone on this Pacers team has hit a big shot at some point in these playoffs because Tyrese Halliburton takes it to himself to get everyone involved throughout the course of the game so everyone's ready late into these games. If I'm a role player on one of these teams, I would much rather be playing for this Pacers team because everyone is involved. Your point guard is assuring you that you are an important aspect of this game. I just think that would be a little bit more fun to play with. He has the best vision. If you're cutting, you're getting open. If you run the floor in transition off a rebound, he's going to hit you. It feels like, other than Jokic, there's not a ton of guys that you'd pick that you'd rather play with right now as a role player than Tyrese Halliburton. And I think that's part of the reason that they're winning these games.
That's a good point, honestly. I haven't really thought about that perspective because you look at how the Pacers have been winning throughout this run. It's because their role guys are shining. I mean, obviously, Mathurin has that big game last night, but Aaron Nesmith has been tremendous all playoffs. Andrew Nembhard has been really good. McConnell, obviously. All these guys
McConnell with the inbound
steals
yesterday were just something else, man. Something else.
So, yeah, I mean, just from if you were a role player, who would you want to play with in the NBA? I like this take. I think that it's a good point about Halliburton just because he makes it so fun and gets everyone involved. Definitely not on the Jokic level. Jokic is for sure the top guy, but Halliburton's right underneath that for sure.
But how many guys in the league other than Jokic and Tyrese Halliburton have the passing gene to where it's like they just see the game a little bit differently? Like last night I'm watching this game. LeBron, 100%, but LeBron's at a different point in his career. Like I almost don't want to include him in this. Who else has that gene that's like they just see the court a little bit differently to where it's like, yeah, no matter what, they're going to find me at some point.
Right. I mean, in his prime, Rondo would have been like an elite guy to play with. But as far as current day NBA goes, I mean, Trae Young is like that, right? He's a tremendous playmaker.
Yeah.
But outside of him, I mean,
he's also hunting his own shot a good amount.
Right.
It feels like
it's hard.
Yeah. Halliburton and Jokic have that passing gene. And I almost started thinking to myself, watching the game yesterday, because I compared him to Steve Nash last week. That pushed the ball, super selfless, with like 10% more aggression. You know who else popped into my head last night that I can't believe I hadn't thought of this yet? Is Isaiah Thomas. He had that gene. He was making sure everyone else got involved and understood I can score a lot more points than my points per game says on my pro reference at the end of the day, but I want to make sure everyone else gets involved because this is about the team. Isaiah Thomas infamously said, like, the key to basketball, the secret to basketball is not about the basketball. It's about playing 5-on-5 and making sure your teammates are involved and being selfless and no one hunting their own shots or being selfish on the court. That's the type of mentality Tyrese Halliburton plays with. That's the type of mentality Jokic plays with, right? LeBron's a little bit different because he can like just dominate a game and score whenever he wants. But that's a totally different conversation. But you're right, he does have that passing gene. With Halliburton, it is a little bit of, I could score more if I wanted to. But I think it's more important to get my teammates involved. And that, I think, is paying off right now in the finals because for the last 3 years of him running this team, and specifically throughout, really since like January and throughout these playoffs, he's made sure everyone else has been involved to the point where people are yelling at Tyrese Halliburton, you need to step up more. When maybe in the long run of things, this is actually beneficial for the Pacers team because everyone else is comfortable with the ball in their hands in the fourth quarter. And then, of course, with a few seconds left in the game, Tyrese Halliburton says, don't worry, guys, I got it now, which has been a fantastic story to watch. I don't think anyone recognized this guy as one of the 10 best players in the league going into the playoffs, kind of impossible to leave him out of that conversation now.
But even the fact that he's in the conversation is crazy, right? The last time we had a NBA champion without a locked-in top 10 guy was probably the 2004 Pistons. It's over 20 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
And they had the best defender in the league at that time. The Pacers don't have anything like that.
Right. They're just a really fun team. Now, once again, I still don't think they're going to win, but the fact that this is even a conversation, I didn't think we were going to have this a day ago. So, well, I guess I did pick the Pacers to win this game, so maybe I did think about it.
I don't know if I think I can just straight up pick them to win the finals yet, but I will say plus 190 is great value for the series.
What's OKC? Minus like 250?
Minus 230 still. No value there. If I had to bet, it would be the Pacers right
Thunder
now.
in 6.
That would mean they don't lose another game. Win 3 straight? I don't know about that.
That could happen.
I feel like the Thunder have to win in 7 at this point.
Maybe.
I don't know. Game 4
I will
tomorrow.
say quickly.
Go ahead.
I'd rather play with Steph Curry than Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, that's totally fair. But
it takes out the passing thing that you're talking about, but like
the gravity, you're going to be open all the time.
Yes, exactly.
He's also 37.
And just watching Steph Curry every night.
I'm trying to do what the NBA is not doing in promoting the young stars, the guys that are in their prime.
Yeah,
not
I'm
the
talking
guys
about
that
LeBron
are past
and Steph.
Yeah, Kyle's doing the ESPN thing where he's like, no, I'd actually rather just talk about LeBron and Steph. All right, Parker Meadows. Again, I said this at the beginning. I don't think anyone's hitting the panic button yet, but I'd at least like to know where the panic button is. It's been a tough start for Meadows. Let's talk about it next here on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt. Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit midlandfoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at midlandfoundation.org.
Experience world-class golf and family fun at the Dow Championship. Returning to Midland Country Club June 23rd to the 29th. Come and see top LPGA professionals compete in the only team-based event on the tour. Explore interactive fan experiences, family-friendly activities, and delicious local food vendors. Plus, veterans and children under 17 get in free. Don't miss out. Visit DowChampionship.com today for more information.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
Another episode takes over Dow Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Loons returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse yourself in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. Celebrate Father's Day at Dow Diamond Sunday, June 15th. It starts with the Play Ball Weekend Kids Clinic presented by Central Michigan University. Make sure they're pre-registered at loons.com. After the game, step on the field for a special Father's Day catch, a memory that will last a lifetime. There's something for the whole family this Father's Day. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Greenland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesapeake, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in, Ben Bosscher Show. We're talking Parker Meadows right now because, I don't want to panic anybody. That's not the goal of this, but it at least needs to be addressed, these conversations. Before we get into it, I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now. Austin Johnson said, "We're running poker tonight. Are you in?" Hey, Bozo, there's a Loons game tonight that I have to be at. Not everyone doesn't get to be here for the Loons games. No, I'll be here, but thank you so much for the offer. Last time I played
the public offer, yes.
Yeah, Kyle, last time I played poker with them, I bought in. I don't remember how much it was. Nothing crazy. Gone in like 5 minutes. I couldn't believe it. Everything was gone in like 5 minutes. I was so mad.
I'm not a big poker guy.
I love poker. I also just like tossing some money around and gambling a little bit sometimes. I don't do it very often anymore. Once I turned 21 and I could just do it every day on FanDuel, I'm on generic sportsbook. I stopped playing poker as much, and I wish I played a little bit more. Sorry, Austin, I didn't mean to call you a bozo, but I think you're well aware I have to be at the Loons games every night.
Must be sarcasm.
I know. Thank you for the invite, Austin. I didn't mean to be a little bit of a bully there. Okay, so Parker Meadows, it hasn't been a fantastic start for him in his 9 games played for the Tigers so far this season. 5 walks, 8 Ks. He's 5 for 31. And if you remember, 2 of those hits were his debut against the White Sox. Hit a triple, hit a double. After that, it's been real shaky. A 536 OPS, a 160 average. Look, I'm not going to say send him down. Huge. I saw that tweet. Because he OPS'd over 1,000 in his 6 games at AAA when he was rehabbing. So there's no incentive of sending him down.
Wait, Bill wants to send him down?
I saw a tweet last night that said, the swing looks nasty, send him down to AAA. He's mastered the AAA level. I don't like the gap between AAA. He's not going to fix his swing down there. He did last year. Like, you're right about that. But at this point, when you've seen this much time in the majors, like, how much can going down to AAA do? It didn't really help Torkelson. That was more of an off-season thing, right? So I don't think there's any incentive to send him down. Even last year, when they sent him down, he OPS'd 880. So you can send him down, and he can go rake. He still has to figure out how to hit at the big leagues level. And again, we always talk about what he looked like after he got called back up last season. A 294 hitter, this awesome OPS, utility, like 5-tool guy, had everything. And I'm not saying you need to send him back down, but I guess him in that leadoff spot right now is a little bit, doesn't give me great feeling knowing most likely out to top every single when the lineup flips again. I'm starting to wonder, like, okay, maybe until he starts to really figure things out, throw him back down in the bottom of the lineup. Not because I think he's a bottom of the lineup player. I think ideally he is leading off every single day, but until he figures it out and starts to get hot again, I don't think you can put someone like that at the very top of the lineup and basically start the first inning with an out. Again, he's drawn some walks here, 5. But the numbers, again, it's 9 games in. I'm not saying move him quite yet, but it's definitely something I'm monitoring because Wencel Perez just doesn't lead off. And I guess I don't understand why not. Zach McKinstry never leads off. And I guess I don't necessarily understand why not unless they simply just want a spark plug at the bottom of the lineup, who's a unique piece because he's a lefty who hits lefties. Wencel Perez being a switch hitter, I think, is the interesting one. Guy with a little bit of speed, too. You could put him at the start of the lineup and then let Kerry Carpenter be third and Gleyber Torres be second and Riley and Torque, whatever order you want to put those guys in after that. But it's just something I'm monitoring right now. Parker Meadows has gone off to a very slow start, and that's exactly what happened in 2024 because when he got sent down, he was basically a 100 hitter, not a Mendoza line hitter. He was hitting sub 100 when he got sent down, pre-All-Star break. Comes back up, absolutely mashes. Figured something down in AAA, but I don't think you can do that again this season. He's been up long enough. He's had a success in this level to the point where I think sending him down and him mashing doesn't really do much for him in the big leagues level.
It's too early for me, I think, to say move him out of the starting lineup spot too, or the top of the lineup.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just monitoring.
Right.
I
mean,
asked you yesterday, at what point do we need to have the Parker Meadows conversation, an awkward one? And you said,
I think we're halfway there.
20 games in. Yeah, is what you told me. That was last night, way after the show ended.
And even that might be too small. But the thing is, I mean, he does bring the most value on the base pads. Like, that's why he's at the top of the order. You know, you want him to be on base. Obviously, he has not been getting on base as much as your top guy would like to. And especially in an A.J. Hinch lineup where everybody's moving in and out, there's pinch hitters coming left and right. Parker Meadows is not really ever going to leave the lineup, right? Just because of what he brings defensively in center field. Yep. You don't want that guy to not be in the game in a clutch 8th, 9th inning liner into the gap. You want Meadows to be out there. So maybe moving him down in the order is the play in 10 games. But as of right now, it's definitely worth noting, for sure.
Again, I'm not trying to hit the panic button. I'm just looking around saying, okay, it's over there. I don't even need to start walking towards it right now. I'm just looking around.
But you can see it.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, this has happened before, and it was a problem, and it didn't get solved until they sent him down to AAA. Again, I don't want to send him down to AAA. But they might have to address that at some point. So maybe we're halfway. Right now we're having the conversation, pre-conversation of get Parker Meadows out of the starting lineup or send him down to AAA. It's way too early to say that stuff. But I think it's okay to have the conversation before the conversation. The conversation about when is it time to have the conversation is basically what we're doing here. Fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Hasn't been a great start for him. Had a great debut, made a diving catch, had the double, had the triple, and ever since then it's been
no extra base hits.
Slim. Yeah. It's been real slim. A couple singles into the gaps.
The thing is about this, though, is since
great.
The sample size is so small, it takes a game tonight where he has a home run and a single.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like totally fine.
Yeah, I look stupid after. That's
of
probably
course.
what is going to happen. And then
so that's why this is the pre conversation.
Yeah. It's how much longer does this have to continue for us to actually have the conversation about Parker Meadows? So I just wanted to bring that up. That's something I'm monitoring going into tonight's game. But obviously it is a Tarik Skubal day. Happy Scoob bump day for all of those who celebrate. Tigers lost a game yesterday. Series on the line today. And obviously you always feel good about that with Tarik Skubal on the mound because he is your ace, and that's what aces do. They when things don't go right the day before, they get you back in the win column on a day like today. All right, coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, Tarik Skubal, speaking of him, he gave us an exact number on what sounds good for a contract. Kyle and I threw out the number yesterday. The number he said was actually lower than that. So it sounds like a big win for me. We've got an Around the League coming up. We've got some Thursday some random Thursday thoughts, including some about this U.S. Open that's going on right in front of our eyes right now. Good stuff. A lot of good stuff coming up. We'll recontinue the Sandy conversation as well in the 11 o'clock hour. All right, stick with us. It is a Thursday. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on YouTube in 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Fueled by wonder and powered by science. At Dow, we're imagining better things for our customers and communities. It starts with our commitment to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. Designing, building, and inspiring for the world around us. Because when we wonder, the things our world needs could be just one breakthrough away. That's Dow.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm going to go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got him. Run! Get out! Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
The doctors at Midland Eye Care want you to know a comprehensive eye exam is the only way to protect and detect vision-related disease. It goes beyond improved vision from glasses or contact lenses. Many common eye diseases such as glaucoma, diabetic eye disease, and age-related macular degeneration often have no warning signs. A dilated eye exam is the only way to detect these diseases in their early stages. This message brought to you by Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and now on East Washington in Freeland.
Some nights are just different. The energy and feeling of being part of something bigger. That's what a Great Lakes Loons group outing is all about.
Whether it's your company, your family, or your best friends, the perfect space is waiting for you at Dow Diamond.
Relax in a private group venue with catering and wait service, or take in the action from a spacious pavilion where an all-you-can-eat buffet and amazing views bring everyone together.
With group packages starting at just $15 per person, it's more than just a game. It's an affordable shared experience at night out.
The best memories start here with your hometown team. Just visit loons.com.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan. From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Good morning, everyone listening to the Ben Bosscher Show, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and of course live right here in the Great Lakes Bay region. Tarik Skubal on the mound tonight, the Tigers ace, and a guy who's just mesmerizing to watch. Did you notice this last outing, Kyle? We'll get into the number here that he put out on the Barstool podcast in a second. But last time he was on the mound last Friday, I love these Friday bum scoops days. He does 2 pickoff attempts immediately to the guy at first base. Burns him. You only get 3. And he's like, yeah, I'm not throwing back over there, man. I'm daring you to steal. Like, please, go ahead and try to steal the space. Throws a couple pitches, and then somehow knows that the guy on first is going to take second. Throws a fastball head-high level to Dylan Dingler for him to just stand up. Easy. He doesn't even have to, like, pop up. There's no pop-up time because he's already standing up. Catches it, throws it down to second base. Not even close. Gets the out. Mind games. Like, levels above type stuff. He literally dared the base runner to go take off by throwing the 2 pickoff attempts before the first pitch was even thrown, and then somehow predicted which pitch he was going to try to steal on, throws it high for Dylan Dingler, and Dingler takes care of the rest. That's the kind of stuff that like blows my mind, that he's just on a different level than everybody else right now.
Yeah, he's just elite, man. It's in every facet of the game. When he's on the bump, everything he does is just great.
And obviously every conversation around him right now, unless it's about the Cy Young, is going to revolve around whether or not the Tigers are going to be able to sign him to a long-term contract in a year and a half. Well, Kyle and I were throwing out numbers yesterday. I said it was going to be about $50 million a season, a 10-year deal, like something that no pitcher's ever gotten outside of Shohei Ohtani, which is a completely different situation. He went on a podcast, I don't know when he was on it, but it dropped yesterday, and actually had a better number for the Tigers' sake than we put out. So let's take a listen.
Sounds like you love Detroit.
I love Detroit, yeah.
Yeah?
I do, yeah.
Like, for the rest of your life, love Detroit?
Sure.
Like, we could sign a contract right now. 10 years, $425.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
That's on the Pardon My Take podcast. That'd be $42 million per season for 10 years. That's only $2 million more than the current highest. It's only $500,000 more than the current highest paid pitcher in baseball.
Right, except you're committing to 10 years of paying that per year.
Every Tigers fan would sign up for that right now.
Right, I'm just saying that's why it's that. You know, Wheeler's wasn't a 10-year deal.
Because no one is thinking about what Tarik Skubal looks like when he's 37 years old. It's irrelevant. It should be irrelevant when you sign that contract, because you've got a window to try to win a World Series here for the next few seasons with all these bats that you're eventually going to have to pay too, but you've still got a handful of years of team control with those guys. Why would you not sign up for this immediately? If you're Scott Harris, if you're Chris Ilitch, you're kind of getting a bargain there. And maybe the long-term total number is, to your point, the 10 years, you don't know what he looks like in 37 years old. Who cares?
Yeah, the Mets don't care what Juan Soto looks like when he's 38 when they sign him to his 15-year contract or whatever.
15 years. That's insane. But I don't think it's insane for Tarik Skubal. Like, I think it's worth the debt, and it's easy to say this as someone who's not paying the contract, but I think it's worth the money at the end of the contract if you still get him for his prime for the next 4 or 5 seasons, right? And you never know with pitchers. Like, you can see guys go into their late 30s and still be pitching at a dominant level. There's no sign of regression right now, obviously. He's just hitting the peak of his power. So I would sign up for this immediately, and that's super easy to say. I'd sign up for really any dollar value. But I actually think the $42.5 million is somewhat of a bargain for the Tigers. I know it's a lot of total money at the end of it, but if he's quite literally saying, like, yeah, I would sign that, if I'm Chris Ilitch and Scott Harris, it's like, yeah, let's just put it in front of him now and get this entire conversation over with, because it is a dark cloud looming over the Tiger system right now and will be until he signs that contract. Because if he doesn't sign that contract when his current deal is up, hell is going to come over Detroit. It's going to be raining fire for a long time, as long as, like, Ilitch can't show his face, like, legitimately in Detroit if they don't re-sign him.
To be fair, I mean, the number was probably just thrown out as like a joke, right? Skubal didn't just, like, I think if he throws out any number, Skubal's going to have that same response.
Yeah, but that's not as fun of a conversation to have, Kyle. Let's just theoretically say, like, $42.5 million.
Yeah, but this isn't a Tigers thing. The Tigers could be willing to pay that right now, and Scott Boras is going to be like, oh, well, that's cool and everything. How about in a year and a half? When I can see what these other teams want to pay.
$44 million. See who else gets paid. Yeah,
because the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers and whoever will pay more than that number.
Yeah, they will.
Like, the Tigers have officially lost their window to extend Skubal.
Oh, come on. You don't think he's going?
Happen.
You just
Why
think
would
there's
he
no
do
chance it happens anymore?
I mean, there's a slight chance, I guess, but why would he do it? We could be completely wrong right now and say that the Tigers have been trying to extend Skubal with solid offers.
No, I'd imagine they lowball him every offer.
Probably, but they might have offered this number. Why would Skubal? Well, there's no reason for him to sign right now.
Chris Ilitch should be happy to get into a bidding war with the Yankees and Dodgers. He should be happy to start spending money on a great baseball team, because they actually have the foundation to call themselves a great baseball team for the foreseeable future. You should be excited about spending money knowing that it's going to hopefully result in a World Series. The fact that he's, I don't know, we gotta save our money. Got to get those hot and readies out to everybody. Shut up with that. Like, they have to. I don't know what you want me to say. They have to pay this guy. If they don't pay this guy, you're losing Tigers fans everywhere. Everywhere. Me included. I can't support this team if they blatantly tell us right to our face, we're not paying the best pitcher in the world. He's too expensive. Then why would I ever be a fan of a team who's not trying to win and winning's not their number one priority? It's ludicrous.
It is. But the Tigers, I think, aren't the ones that are on pause here. It's Skubal's side of things.
It's Chris Fetter.
Chris Fetter?
I'm sorry. It's,
Scott Boras.
It's Scott Boras.
Yes.
Sorry.
Chris Fetter.
Chris Fetter. I don't know why he can't. I'm still on the trade for Sandy train.
Like, that's the thing. The Tigers could have had an awesome offer, and we just don't know. But there's no point in not just Skubal, but in Skubal's agency and management to tell him to sign that piece of paper.
Would you consider the Bregman offer awesome? I'd say it was good.
It was good. It probably
good
wasn't
enough
what
to
he
get him
originally
signed.
wanted. Right.
Not good enough to get him signed. That's that's what still pisses me off to this day. And I'm going to use the Bregman thing. I get people are annoyed about hearing about Bregman, but it's the same sort of concept. Like, oh, at least they tried. They offered a contract. There's no salary cap in this sport. The competitive owners whose priority is winning spend out the wazoo so they can continue winning. Ilitch has not shown he's one of those owners, obviously. Ilitch has shown he's quite the opposite. He wants to make money, save money, generate revenue, and isn't as much concerned about winning, isn't as much concerned about spending. That is not, if that's going to be your mantra and that's going to be the way you run this baseball team, please leave. We're all good. To yell at a guy to sell a team, most of the time useless. Me sitting here saying he should sell a team, useless because he's just not going to.
Right.
Inherited through, his father, but look,
okay,
man,
I
just want an owner with a priority of winning. I don't think that's too much to ask, and somehow there across Major League Baseball, there doesn't seem to be a lot of those. I'm just getting upset about it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to upset everyone on a Thursday.
Let's turn this into a positive. Well, okay, I'm going to start with a negative. Let's be under the assumption that Skubal's not going to get extended. Not saying he's going to leave, but he will at least hit the market and see those other competitive offers in 2 seasons. But in one of those 2 seasons, the Tigers win the World Series. Is your fandom being gone if Skubal leaves still in the air?
If the Tigers win the World Series like this year and then he leaves?
Like this or next year, yes. Before he hits the market.
Yeah, probably. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna be thrilled for the rest.
It could make it worse, honestly.
Yeah, I think it would. I'd be thrilled for the rest of my life that they won that World Series, and nobody would ever be able to take that away from me and every other Tigers fans. But if they win the World Series, it's like, we got you one. Now we're done trying. I'm gonna have a huge problem with that. I think every Tigers fan would, and they're gonna justify it like, well, he got us our ring.
It would be better than
it's ridiculous.
The likely route where they don't win the World Series and they lose Skubal.
Logan said in the YouTube, imagine if we lose Skubal and in return we get a brand new deck in the outfield for more club seating. That's pretty good. 989-837-6125. That's the number to the Mitt messages. We'll take a trip around the league coming up here. But before we do, we'll go to the Mitt messages. Not sure why we're so upset about losing a guy who had a 4.2 ERA when the window to win is now. Look to buy another starting arm. That's kind of what I'm saying, right? It just
talking about Jobe?
Yeah. Talking about Jobe. It's not that I'm like devastated that they lose Jobe. I don't think it makes them that much worse of a team.
But he was a guy in the starting rotation.
Yeah, and I think this is a chance to go add an even better piece. Former Cy Young
I would
winner.
hold off and see if you can get anything from Alex Cobb first. You did pay him $15 million, right? One of the few guys that Ilitch decided to throw some cash to.
Which is still one of the craziest decisions.
But what if he's
made.
What if he's something?
What if he's not?
Okay, man. I thought we were trying to be positive.
I am for the most part. I don't think like
right.
To this guy's point. It's not that I'm like freaking out that they lost Jobe, but that was like an exciting young player to watch, like to watch that guy grow right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
He's 22. He's like a kid.
If it would have been, no offense, like Jack Flaherty getting hurt or something, I guess Flaherty's been better than Jobe, so that's a bad comparison. If it just would have been a 30-year-old, you wouldn't be as sad about it. This is his true rookie season, you know?
One of the Tigers' top prospects. I mean, he's not a prospect
taken
anymore,
third overall a couple years ago. Was the best pitching prospect in baseball for like a year straight.
And when you take a pitcher third overall, you know that at some point this is probably going to happen. You're going to miss out on him for a year and a half. And that is always going to be the unfortunate part about taking a pitcher that high. It happened with Casey Mize. It happened with Jackson Jobe. I'm sure it'll happen to the next pitcher that gets taken in the top 3. It's just inevitable. Everyone ends up getting a Cy Young, a Tommy John surgery at some point. I'm looking at the mid messages here. Kyle, what's your dad's name?
Scott.
That's funny. Someone texted in and asked if you were Scott's son.
No way. Wonder if my dad's listening right now. Shout out my dad.
Yeah, shout out Kyle's dad. We met John's dad this week.
Yes, we did.
That was crazy. That was super fun.
A true New Yorker.
A true New Yorker, yes.
Yes.
That's right. 989-837-6125. Around the league next year on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Kari Kiefer from Freeland High School. With a 3.97 GPA, Kari is a 3-sport athlete competing in cross country, track, and basketball. Kari is a leader on the floor and talked on what she thinks makes an effective leader.
I think to be a great leader, you have to be able to hold each other accountable, like being able to give constructive criticism, but also a positive with it. Anytime I kind of talk with my teammates, I try to give them a positive if I'm going to give them a negative too, just to kind of balance it out and keep that relationship strong.
Kari scored over 1,500 points in her 4 seasons at Freeland. She'll continue her basketball and academic career at Northwood University. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
Make every trip to Dow Diamond unforgettable with a Great Lakes Loons ticket package. Choose a 5-game or 10-game plan and enjoy priority seating, food and drink credits, and exclusive discounts on merchandise. Want even more? Go for a bronze, silver, or gold membership and get the VIP treatment. Bigger discounts, exclusive events, bonus food and drink credit, or free parking. Great games, great perks, and great memories with your hometown team. Starting with something as small as a 5-game plan at $62. Visit loons.com to secure your package today.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters?
Yeah.
100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, before we do our Around the League, I'm looking at a few guys putting on par on hole 9 right now. What is this, dude? This might be the dumbest golf course I've ever seen. It's an enormous green, and it's all like slanted in a way that I would 10-putt this. Like, legitimately 10-putt this. I'd be happy to 10-putt this. It's an enormous green, by far the biggest green I've ever seen, all tilted towards a corner. Like, everything's tilted left to right or right to left, depending on where you are, and there's a hill on it to where it's going downhill, depending, to go to the flag. I did a bad job describing that.
I'm telling you, dude, whoever created this golf course
from
was
hell.
a psycho.
Yeah, from hell. Will burn in hell.
But it's awesome, though. It's awesome.
Is it? Do the players enjoy this?
Oh, probably not. They probably hate it. Maybe they do like it, though, because it's like a real challenge.
Hit the around the league music. People are going to blow their brains out listening to us talk about golf more.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Ben.
All right, Kyle.
We've been doing some mix of NFL and college stuff for you. We're back to NFL today.
I love the NFL. So excited.
This is the NFLPA's year-end top 20 player sales list from this past year, from March 1st to the end of February. So in that span of a year. This isn't just jersey sales, though. This is like any retail sales that apparel of this player, like bobbleheads, figurines, wallpaper stuff, backpacks,
jerseys,
all that kind of stuff.
You ever rock the old jerseys?
Let's hear your jersey take quick before we get into guesses. You a jersey guy? Shirt jersey.
I used to frown upon jerseys as a child. Like, why would you not just get the real thing? Well, the real jerseys are expensive, and I think I'm becoming less and less of a jersey guy. I don't know if I'd wear a
more of a jersey guy.
No, I don't think I'd wear either. Honestly, I'd rather just get some, like, if I'm gonna wear a team's jersey, I'd rather just get like that Pistons sweatshirt I have. I'd rather just wear that, or get something cool that represents the team that you're trying to do, a universal thing.
I used to be a jersey guy.
I can see that. I can see that. I don't know what that means.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I can see that, though.
All right, let's get into this list. They have a top 50. We're just going to do the top 20.
Okay. I just have to name all 20.
So this is like essentially most popular players, according to the public, on stuff that they bought, you know?
I saw the headline, so I'll get the number one guy out of the way. If I'm being honest,
cheater.
I know who number one is. It was Saquon, right?
It was. Is that surprising to you?
It is. Anytime it's not a
guessed
quarterback, that's pretty surprising.
Yeah.
So you want me to guess the other 19?
That's exactly what I want you to do, yes.
Number 2, I'm going with Josh Allen.
Wrong. He is on here, though. Number 6.
All right. I will go Patrick Mahomes, number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't just
guess
guess
top of the list.
Guess that. Is he 2?
Yes, he is.
Kelsey, 3.
No, I literally just said it's a lot of QBs at the top of this list.
Lamar Jackson,
but
3.
Kelsey is number 11.
Then I'm going on here. Lamar Jackson, number 3.
Lamar Jackson, number 18. What? I feel like a Lamar jersey is like, I know it says in all jerseys, but
maybe everyone that's already got their Lamar gear has already gotten it. You know?
Right? They don't need any more.
Yeah.
Think about it in that way.
So CJ Stroud. Jaden Daniels.
CJ Stroud is number 5, yeah.
What
Over
about
Josh Allen.
What about Daniels?
Daniels is 4.
I'm missing 3.
Missing 3, another QB.
It's not Jared Goff. There's no way.
No, he's also not on this
Hurts.
list. Jalen Hurts, yes. Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts is number 3. There is 2 Lions on this list. 3 Lions.
In the top 20?
In the top 20. 2 in the top 10.
Hutchinson's got to be the top of the list, right?
Hutchinson's number 7, the number 1 defensive player.
Really? Even though he
Yes.
didn't play for the majority of the season.
He is number 7, the top defensive player.
That's incredible. Amon-Ra's got to be a top 20 guy.
Amon-Ra's number 8, the top receiver.
Oh my God.
It's got to be the Lions black jerseys, right?
Yeah. Everyone
People
wanted
just
one of
copping
those.
I got a black Amon-Ra one, so I contributed.
You contributed.
To this. Yes. All right, so you have the top 8 all out of the way.
And then there's another Lion that's in the top 20?
Yes, he is number 20.
Gibbs.
It is Gibbs.
Yeah.
I expect this Gibbs number
Skyrocket.
to be in the top 10 next year. With the number 0 coming.
Skyrocket. Everyone's going to have a 0 black, a 0 dark
Yes.
Gibbs jersey. A 0 dark Gibbs? That's pretty good. You like that?
It's
0 dark
I would
Gibbs?
give you pretty good. But
Okay, so if those are all the Lions, I got the top 8.
You still got plenty of QBs. 4 QBs.
I just don't want to swing and miss, so I'm thinking extra hard. Justin Herbert.
Wrong.
Swing and miss.
First wrong. Oh, no. Goff, too.
Goff was somewhat of a joke answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start naming the rookies then. Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, 13th.
Drake May?
No, I'll just tell you right now. Williams was the only rookie outside of Daniels.
Oh, okay.
Not your boy Drake May. Not good enough, yes, I get.
Stafford? No way, right?
No.
It's too old.
You got...
How many more quarterbacks are there?
3 quarterbacks. 2 of them, the Lions have some history with. One of them you hate.
No way it's Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Oh, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is number 14, yes. Is he
two-
your least favorite quarterback in the league? The way you've been talking about him lately?
Aaron Rodgers, not even close.
I don't know, dude.
2 more quarterbacks, man. It's not NFC guys, right?
Both NFC guys.
Oh.
Both have history with the Lions.
Dak.
No. People don't like Dak like that.
Yeah! Here we go! Both have history with the Lions. What does that mean?
Like they play the Lions. And one of them played the Lions in a big game. Baker? No. That's a good guess. I would expect Baker to be on here over this other guy, though.
Both NFC. Man, I'm falling apart here. I'm not pulling out my computer to look at the standings. I refuse to do that. So then I just start naming quarterbacks.
One plays the Lions a lot. Like, that's a major hint.
Jordan Love is on this list?
Jordan Love is 12th. He's over Caleb Williams and Joe
Disgusting.
Burrow.
It's disgusting,
Yeah,
Packers fans.
It really is. Jordan Love, people are buying Jordan Love merch.
The former highest paid quarterback in the league. And then there's one more in the NFC,
Yes.
man. Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy, bro.
Yeah, that's wild.
I would expect Baker over Purdy.
I would expect like Kyler over Purdy. All right,
Yeah.
so
that's all the QBs. So
Okay.
you're missing 9 and 10, 2 really popular players.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar
Yeah,
Chase.
Jefferson's number 10.
Chase.
Jamar Chase, not on the list.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? Even with those
Everybody
white
wants to be-
Bengals jerseys that people love.
And he's number 1.
Yeah.
It's like an awesome jersey number to wear.
Jets is number 10. You're missing number 9. He is one of 2 remaining defensive players on this list.
Garrett. Watt.
Watt, yes, 16th. No Garrett.
Sauce Gardner.
No.
I don't think it's Pat Surtain, but I got to guess the defensive
No.
player of the year.
Talked about him yesterday.
Talked about him yesterday. What did we talk about yesterday?
Hutchinson, edge rusher, Pay.
Oh, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
He is number 9. All right, so you got Kelsey at 12, Love, Williams, Burrow. You're missing 15, who's a running back. 17, who's a receiver, and that's it. See if you can go no strikes here on either of these guys.
Okay, so 15's a running back, 17's a receiver, and that's it?
That's it. And obviously the only other running backs on this list were Saquon and Gibbs.
Here's my theory. Every Ravens fan, this is why Lamar was so low. Every Ravens fan wanted to go get a Henry jersey. I will guess Derrick Henry for the 15th
I like
spot.
the thought process. It is wrong.
Okay, that's 1 strike. I can't get 3. Bijan.
Who's buying a Bijan jersey, dude?
I don't know.
Come on.
Oh, man.
Really popular running back.
I don't think
Not a young guy.
I don't think
Like Henry is a good guess.
Is it Christian McCaffrey?
It is Christian McCaffrey. Yes, people still loving McCaffrey.
I was hesitant to say that just because of all the injury stuff, but okay.
Yeah, a
and
couple
the other
Niners
one's
on
a
the list.
receiver.
Receiver, 17th. The only other receivers on this list were St. Brown, Jefferson, and this guy. And it's not Chase, which is kind of crazy.
I don't think it's A.J. Brown because Hurts was so high on the list, so the Philly fans are buying Hurts jerseys. I don't think it's Brian Thomas because the Jaguars fans, there's just not a lot of them. He was one of the better rookies. Oh, is it Malik Neighbors? That's not my final guess. Hold on, running through a couple more names in my head.
I'll advise you to run through some other names.
Okay, so it's not Neighbors. No, there's no way it's McLaurin. There's no way it's Brown.
Like a top 5 receiver in the league. On a popular team. CeeDee Lamb, correct. 17th. And that's it. Any big surprises?
Where's Penei Sewell? Is Penei Sewell in the top 50? Do you think he's
It only gives me the top 20, even though it says it's a top 50 list.
Do you think Penei Sewell is the offensive lineman that's jerseys bought the most across the league? Has to be.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any meme guys that would have their jerseys bought.
It would be Dan Skipper. That's the meme guy.
Here's a good one for you. We're combining two things into one. My buddy has a Dan Skipper jersey.
That he got within the last 2 years?
Yeah, he got it as like a Christmas gift.
I would be willing to argue no team has more jerseys bought that are offensive and defensive linemen than the Detroit Lions. No chance.
Probably. I mean, the Lions are also the only team with 3 guys on this list, too. So
really?
I think so.
I can't believe Dak's not on that list.
Eagles had 2 of the top 3, but didn't add another.
I can't believe Dak's not on the list. But I guess it makes sense because everyone already has their Dak jersey.
CD and Micah are on this list.
Most of those guys that you named are younger players. And Dak is Dak the longest tenured quarterback in the NFL for the single team?
Yeah, I think by a long shot, too.
Yeah, I don't even know who second would be at this point.
Probably like a Kyler Murray or...
That's crazy.
Right?
That's nuts.
That's just off the top of my head. I could be wrong, but it seems right.
I'm going to look at that when we go to the break. 989-837-6125. We'll get to some Thursday thoughts when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
989-837-6125. It's time for a new segment called Some Thursday Thoughts. Some random things to work in here. And Kyle, I'll let you take control here because you came up with this last night and you had some great ideas that I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah, so do we want to start with U.S. Open talk? Because we've been kind of teasing that a little bit.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so this was something that got brought up during the Masters. And I think the answer was yes. But this course is a little bit different because Oakmont seems to be very difficult. And it's the classic, would you win the U.S. Open? A casual. You or I might not be a good example because we're really bad. But we'll run with it. Would you win the U.S. Open if every hole you started on the green at the farthest point away from the tee or from the hole?
Just looking,
but it's on the green.
Just looking at
you're just putting
hole number 9, no chance. I don't think I do.
But think about it. The winning score of this tournament likely is going to be a 5-6 under.
Spawn right now is 4 under through 11.
Right. It's also halfway through the first day.
I'm just giving score updates.
Right. So like you just have to 3-putt every single time.
That is a challenge for me, Kyle.
It's a challenge for me as well. Like for sure. I'm not saying it's easy. But you're going to get lucky and put your first putt close once, right? You'll 2-putt at least one time across 4 days. That could be an eagle.
These greens look impossible to when I'm out on the golf course measuring up the green, it's usually fairly simple. Like take one look, it's like, all right, aim a little left. What these guys are doing versus what I do is completely different. And on these greens where everything is rounded or slanted, I think I'd be a disaster. I do not think I would win the U.S. Open.
There's going to be some 6-7 putts pretty frequently.
I would say that's standard. And
well, then you're not even making the cut.
I do not think I would make the cut.
That's a
even
better
if I got
question,
to start
yes.
on the green. If I got to start on the green, I do not think I would make the cut.
Let us know in the comments because most of you are likely better golfers than us in the YouTube chat or in the text if you think you can do this because I think it's a good thought.
989-837-6125.
All right, that's the first Thursday thought. Because a lot of people during the Masters were saying that they could do it.
I think on the Masters it might be different. These greens look impossible. Impossible.
I don't think I would be able to do it either. All right.
You seemed pretty confident in that pre-show. You seemed a lot more confident in that pre-show.
Well, because just think about it. All the par 4s, like at worst, you 4-putt and you're even.
Yeah.
You get 4 days to do
I don't
this.
think that's good enough to win it, though.
But I'm saying that's at worst. Like eventually you're going to start to understand. Do we get no practice? You don't get to, like, you just have to show up and play?
You get to, what do? They do 2 rounds of practice?
Up at the beginning of the week and have a couple practice rounds.
Yeah, we would get that too. Oh, okay. If I get a couple practice rounds.
If you get a caddy,
I still don't.
That's the big question. Help you read the green.
I would need that. I still don't think I win, but maybe I make the cut and finish top 10 if I get like 2 practice rounds prior.
Right.
But I'm watching these guys putt onto the green now or like hit onto the green now. It looks impossible. You can't even separate the green from the fairway. It looks the same.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult.
I'd overshoot everything.
All right, let's move on. This is something I've been wanting to talk about because we've talked about this off camera a few times. We got to talk about Oz the Mentalist, dude.
This guy's a psychopath.
What's up with this guy?
I never want to come in contact with this guy. I hope I'm not famous enough to ever come in contact with him.
I don't think I could ever believe what he does is real. 100% real. I don't think I ever could believe it.
I think I would go into... Wait, you need to explain who this guy is, because there's definitely at least one person out there.
So if you don't know, he's just this like psychic / magician / just random... He's a mentalist, I guess is his real term, who goes on different sports shows and goes on different teams and basically like guesses what they're thinking. And like, hey, write this thing down right now. Write something random down. And he names what they write down. He guessed Joe Rogan's PIN number based off of like random questions he asked him. It gets weirder by the day. He went on Get Up the other day and like, he like messed with 5 different people at once and got them all to like write stuff down that he was thinking.
Yeah, I don't think he could do it for me. I'd be so like, going into it, I think I would think of something so unique to try to mess with him that I don't believe it. Be like, what are you thinking about? Is it basketball? And I'd be like, no, it's actually how in 2017 Kenny Golladay led the NFL in touchdown receptions. How did you not know that?
I will never believe it. I think even if it happened to me, I still would be like, okay, how'd you do that? That's obviously fake. Because no matter how often all these people, after it happens, be like, we swear nothing happened. He did it all on his own. I will never believe it.
Yeah, Greeny was like glazing him. There's no way. I didn't believe it.
Dude, he asked 5 different people a different thing, and it spelt get up. The first letter of every word was get up. That's fake.
Yeah, no,
dude.
I don't believe that at all.
That is absolutely fake.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
I don't buy Oz the Mentalist. He freaks me out.
100%.
But it's fake, so he doesn't freak me out that much. I can't believe it.
Ben, what are you thinking about? I'm thinking about how Asar Thompson's development at OTE is hurting his development right now in year 3 of his progression in becoming a superstar. I projected him to become Scottie Pippen. That's what I'm thinking about. Oz.
Yeah, I will never believe that stuff. My last Thursday thought, and if you have any, feel free to add in. I absolutely despise 4-way stops.
Where
they are
is there
a
one
terrible,
specific one?
No, all of them. Have you ever pulled up to a 4-way stop and had a real driver at any of the other stops like actually know what they're doing?
No.
Because everyone pulls up to a 4-way stop and becomes the dumbest person on planet Earth.
The problem is everyone thinks it's like one at a time. When in reality, it's like 2 people can go at once as long as you're not going in the same direction. Like 2 people should always be going.
And everyone always tries to be the nice guy at the 4-way stop.
Yeah, no.
Like if you got there before me, go. You know?
Yeah.
If I pull up 2 seconds after you and then you look at me for 2 seconds and then I look at you and then you do the whole, oh no, you go.
When there's a whole line of people trying to...
No, you go. You got there first. Like, you're not being nice. You're actually making things so much worse.
And here's the other thing. If the person across from you, it's their turn to go and they're going straight and you're going right, both go. There's no point in waiting. You know what I mean? Both go.
Exactly. People just don't, I don't know, their brains shut off when they get at 4-way stops. It's terrible.
I hate one-ways more than I hate 4-way stops. When I first moved to Midland, I got a lot of dirty looks and dirty birds.
Like one-way streets?
Yes. I got a lot of dirty birds and a lot of dirty looks because more times than I'm willing to admit, I just ended up going down the wrong way of a one-way. Not on like the big main roads,
right,
but
like downtown.
Downtown and in some of the back areas, and people would just like look and I'd be like, oh my God, like I'm going the complete wrong direction. There's way too many one-ways in this town. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, but usually there's like a large sign on display that lets you know.
Sometimes there's not, Kyle. Sometimes there's not. What are your thoughts on roundabouts?
I love roundabouts.
In on roundabouts.
In on roundabouts because they're efficient. 4-way stops, least efficient traffic assembly. I don't know. It's just terrible.
There was a 4-way stop outside of my high school. You'd be sitting there for 15 minutes waiting to get to the front of it.
See, then why not just put in a stoplight? I get it. It's probably more money. I understand.
More money? Not that much more money. And if it's worth, and because here's the reason. If it wasn't 2:30, no one was ever there. But at 2:30, you had to run to your car so you didn't have to be waiting in the four-way stop.
Because everyone
line for
sits
20
at a four-way
minutes.
stop for 5 minutes before they decide to make a move.
It's ridiculous.
Awful.
989-837-6125. The NBA Finals not going the way we expected, but something is coming back to basketball that I think the old school fans will be in favor of. And I think the Pistons specifically will benefit from it. That's next here on the Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. Devastating news for the Tigers came last night. Jackson Jobe out for the remainder of 2025 with Tommy John surgery. And this potentially impacts what the Tigers are going to do at this year's upcoming trade deadline. We heard from Scott Harris say they are going to be active at the deadline, and they want to figure out what their weaknesses is with this team before making any radical moves to acquire players. Well, a weakness now could be the back end of this starting rotation. Tarik, Skubal, Jack Flaherty, who has now bounced back with a few good starts in a row, and Casey Mize seem to be the only healthy starters right now for the Tigers, and Mize has struggled in his last few outings. Reese Olson, we really don't know an update on his injury status. And then your fifth starter is a combination of Sawyer Gibson-Long, Kiter Montero, a couple young guys that are still raw, trying to get their experience in, and Alex Cobb, who we haven't seen yet this year, and who knows when we'll see him. So the Tigers' rotation that coming into the season seemed like one of the most deepest parts of the team and strongest parts now looks like it's going to need some help come late July. It sucks that Jobe's going to miss all of this year and likely a good chunk of next year, but the Tigers can't let it hinder their potential World Series run in 2025. Bullpen arm and a left side infielder were the main needs for the Tigers at the deadline. Go ahead and add starting pitching to that list. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
The new rebranded Matt Smith Modern Realty.
Well, Matt Smith Outdoors was really reflective of how I started my real estate journey, taking my outdoor experience, moving that into the real estate space to help people buy and sell land. So many people in this region ended up calling me and wanting me to work with them to help them buy and sell homes. This new brand was more reflective of what I'm delivering to people in this region every day.
When the winter chill sets in, nothing feels better than a cozy home. At Answer Heating and Cooling, we know how important it is to stay warm on those frosty nights. Our expert technicians are just a call away, ready to ensure your heating system runs efficiently and keeps your family snug. Don't get caught in the cold. Schedule your winter tune-up today and enjoy a cozy, worry-free home. Answer Heating and Cooling, where your comfort is our priority. Visit us online or call today.
Hey teachers, coaches, and club advisors, this one's for you. School night is coming to Bounce and Bites on June 15th, and the Moody Foundation wants your school's teams and clubs to join us. It's a chance to showcase your program, connect with the community, and even recruit new members. We'll provide the crowd, you bring the spirit, and it's totally free to participate. Sign up today at bounceandbites.com and let your school shine under the lights. The word bounce, the letter N, the word bites.com. School night, where community meets classroom, powered by the Moody Foundation. Brought to you by the Moody Foundation, helping every kid find their thing.
Something happens when we can't be our true selves. You can hear it in our laughs. There's the half-hearted chuckle. The courtesy conference caller.
Yeah, great.
And of course, the I'm only laughing because I'm dating your daughter.
Oh, that's so true.
If you want to laugh for real, try having some Miller Lite with some friends. It works. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer.
Step right up to Lucky Hot Dog Night with the Great Lakes Loons, Thursday, June 19th. Feeling lucky? Golden tickets will be hidden in the wrappers of our hot dogs throughout the game. It's Thirsty Thursday, presented by J.P. O'Sullivan Distributing, with half-off beer all night. And we'll have a post-game fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show. Give me just a second. I'm trying to place a bet on Rory to win this thing, man. This is just too addicting to watch. I need a little bit of skin in the game for this.
Rory's year, huh?
It's the year of the roar. All right, I'm ready. Okay, so the NBA Finals continued last night, and obviously this has been a shocking first three games. Most of us, I think both of us, picked Pacers or Thunder in 5 or 6, and
I picked Thunder in 4 originally. So
I'm never going to be in favor of betting on sweeps or picking sweeps. It's so difficult.
See, I was trying to be the
sweep
cool guy, get ahead of it. Just so wrong.
There's just a sense of like once a team is up 3-0, like if that even is to happen, or even 2-0 for that matter, the other team's sense of urgency just kicks in, and the team that's up just naturally is going to take their foot off the gas. And I feel, ironically, that in the fourth quarter of a lot of these games, specifically game 1, Oklahoma City has taken their foot off the gas, and they get a little antsy and a little bit, hey, Shea, if you're not going to hit shots, we're not going to win this game. Whereas the Pacers, on the other hand, Tyrese Halliburton has made sure every single one of his teammates has been involved at some point this postseason, to where everyone feels comfortable taking shots in the fourth quarter. And then, of course, with a few seconds left, Halliburton comes through time and time again. The thing that I noticed yesterday, and this isn't like a take specifically from yesterday, but we haven't talked about it yet, is, you know what both these teams love to do? Bring some full court pressure. Bring some full court press. And I start to wonder, especially over the course of a 7-game series, if you're the team that's used to pressing and it's not like extra exhausting to you because you've been doing it for months and months and months, and all of a sudden you start to play a team that isn't used to being full court pressed. Like, for example, Shea, he's using a lot more energy and exhausting a lot more energy into just getting up the court when throughout the regular season, that was an effortless thing to do. Over the course of a playoff series, that ends up wearing you down a little bit, and you end up running out of gas slowly but surely through the course of those games. And I thought, you know, Shea and some of the other guys on the Thunder were a little bit worn out than they usually are in the fourth quarter, and that is because the Pacers are full court pressing basically the entire length of the game. And I started to wonder, all right, if this is going to become a new normal in the NBA, who is the best guy to do it? Ironically, that answer might just be the Pistons with Desar Thompson. If he can stay out of foul trouble, you saw him do this a little bit with Brunson, just kind of work him up the court. No point in trying to pick up a steal, although he tried to do that a few times too. But if you can just work guys throughout the course of the game and throughout the course of a series, it's going to wear them down over the course of that series. And I started to wonder, like, is that a real weapon that the Pistons could utilize next year? Hey, we're just full court pressing all the time. Here's Desar Thompson. Welcome to hell.
Yeah, it's really beneficial come playoff time. Like you said, over the course of a series, I mean, think about Shea having to face Nembhard, who's a tremendous full court presser, and then Nesmith as well. And then the flip side, you know, Halliburton has to deal with both Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace, whoever it is, Lou Dort for OKC. It just, especially when your best player is a lead guard, it's very smart and beneficial for you as a defense to just, it just takes some time off the shot clock and wears the guard down over a course of 7 games. But Asar's on a different level, man. Yeah. With his lateral quickness, I mean, we saw it against Brunson, right? It clearly was, I mean, I guess maybe it wasn't clearly working because Brunson was phenomenal in the series against Detroit.
Yeah, but Game 6, you don't take Asar Thompson out of that game, and I'm kind of convinced they win it and go back to MSG. Thanks a lot, Bickerstaff.
We're going back there, huh?
No, I don't want to.
Thanks
do that.
a lot, Bickerstaff. Really? Wow, that's a first.
It cost him that game.
All right, fire him then.
How about the Knicks firing their coach and then being like, we don't actually have any candidates that we're looking after. Can we use your coach? And every NBA team being like, no, he's our coach.
Imagine. Okay, I'm doing another.
What?
I'm doing another girlfriend comparison here. But like, imagine breaking up with your girl because you're like, oh, I'm getting a new girlfriend, and then reaching out to 6 different girls who all have boyfriends. You know, that's what the Knicks are doing right now. Every person they've tried to get as their head coach currently is under contract as the head coach with another team.
You would have to trade for them, and also the team would have to request,
give permission,
and then accept a trade. I don't know what they're doing. It feels like they were like, you know what, Thibs isn't the answer, but we actually have no idea what the answer. We have no idea what the answer is. I liked that analogy, the girlfriend analogy. That's back-to-back days you've brought up a girlfriend analogy. Yeah. That's good stuff, Sandman. That's good stuff. But yeah, like back to the original point, the Asar Thompson aspect of this I think is so fascinating because both teams you kind of see full court pressing, and I just kind of picked up on it last night. Like, hey, if this is going to be the new normal, and you know, it feels like right now we're trending towards a lot of new normals in the NBA, depth over superstars, not going all in to trade for your franchise player, playing 5-on-5 and having 8 guys rather than having one superstar, right? Building through the draft. These all seem to be like new normals. We're trending towards that. Not having big threes, although it's ironic that Oklahoma City has drafted 2 guys and then traded for another guy that was the return in a Paul George trade, but whatever, that's besides the point. I really wonder if the new normal is now, hey, if you can wear down a team, do it. And I think the Pistons have a very unique asset in Asar Thompson to be able to do that. The other thing that I took away from the finals yesterday was, okay, if Shea's going to be this ball dominant at the beginning of the game and the end of the game, it does feel like that is part of the reason that some of these other guys on the Thunder are uncomfortable down the stretch of the game with the ball in their hands. We've seen J-Dub come through a couple of times throughout the playoffs. We've seen Chet have good games, but at the end of the day, it's like, if the ball's not in Shea's hands, it's ultimately a win for the other team. Whereas the Pacers, you're not really worried about like, oh, we got to get the ball out of Tyrese Halliburton's hands. That's not really his style of play. He's not a one-on-one bucket getter. He's just looking to get his team the best shot, and that's extremely hard to defend in the fourth quarter of games when you're not necessarily attacking a player, you're not necessarily attacking a zone and the floor, you're just hunting shots, and the Pacers have been so good, and Tyrese Halliburton has been so good at creating shots for his teammates and creating shots for himself that I think it just makes it really hard to defend, and because of that, all the Pacers have been in the situation in the fourth quarter where they have the ball in their hands and have had to make big shots. You've seen different types of role players come through in different types of waves throughout the playoffs. Yesterday was Benedict Mathurin. He had struggled earlier on. In the round prior, it was Aaron Nesmith. We've seen Miles Turner hit some big buckets late in the games. I think it's just so fascinating that, yeah, Tyrese Halliburton's not the superstar you imagine when you think of an NBA superstar. The ball's not in his hands a ton. Its usage rate's not that low or not that high. It's not like he's this 30 points per game scorer the way that Shea is, but he's always the best interest is always for the team and not himself. And I think that's worn off on everyone else on this Pacers team, and that's probably to me the biggest reason that they're winning right now, along with the fact that they are not afraid in the fourth quarter. And that kind of just goes back to the point I just made of everyone's been involved and had the ball in their hands at some point. So they're real comfortable down the stretch of games.
You think the Pacers can win? For real?
I do. I do now.
Would you?
How can I
them?
not say that after last night?
Right. I think they can win, but would you pick them is a way different question.
Gun to my head, no. Looking at the odds, yes. I would bet them plus 190. That seems like a great pick right now.
And even
they're up in the series.
Betting them to win in 7 plus 680.
Yeah,
betting them to win in 6 is plus 570. Why not just bet both of those instead of betting plus 190 on just them to win in general. Not going to win in 5.
Yeah, they're not winning 2 more. They're not going to win 3 straight against this Thunder team.
I think OKC wins still. OKC has done this in the last 2 series. Let's say Shea.
Oh, I was like, I don't know if you
OKC has done this in the last 2 series where they have lost their first road game. Happened against Minnesota. They win the next 2 and win the series. Now, obviously, they were up 2-0 in that.
Yeah,
but
they haven't been trailing in a series yet. This is the first time that they've.
No one's
they've been
better
in this
at
situation.
bouncing back after a loss in OKC.
Yeah.
So they're going to win the next game.
Why is there
Go
not
back to OKC?
Do you see the schedule? There's a game tomorrow, and then they don't play until Monday.
Really?
Why on earth is there not a Sunday night game?
Because they're switching cities. They always give them.
I
Extra
know,
day
but
when
they
switch cities.
specifically in this finals have not done Saturday games, and now they're not doing a Sunday game too. I think it's a little bit ridiculous. All right, in the 11 o'clock hour, we're trying to get a former Cy Young winner on the Tigers. That's coming up. Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Kari Kiefer from Freeland High School. With a 3.97 GPA, Kari is a 3-sport athlete competing in cross country, track, and basketball. Kari is a leader on the floor and talked on what she thinks makes an effective leader.
I think to be a great leader, you have to be able to hold each other accountable, like being able to give constructive criticism, but also a positive with it. Anytime I kind of talk with my teammates, I try to give them a positive if I'm going to give them a negative too, just to kind of balance it out and keep that relationship strong.
Kari scored over 1,500 points in her 4 seasons at Freeland. She'll continue her basketball and academic career at Northwood University. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the local job market. We're here in person. And we're locally owned, so you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at Spherion.com to find your local Spherion office. Let's get to work.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Let's clean up that yard. Save $3 instantly on select Roundup and Ortho weed killers. Save $10 on 64-ounce spruce, weed, and grass killer. You know what season it is? Grilling season. Free assembly and delivery on grills, $399 and up from brands like Weber and Traeger. Need that deck touched up? Do it and save $10 instantly on a gallon of Cabot exterior stain.
Celebrate Father's Day at Downtime Sunday, June 15th. It starts with the Play Ball Weekend Kids Clinic presented by Central Michigan University. Make sure they're pre-registered at loons.com. After the game, step on the field for a special Father's Day catch, a memory that will last a lifetime. There's something for the whole family this Father's Day. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic? Yeah. We've got it. On Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt. From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Welcome back in hour number 3, the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt and live on YouTube. Please subscribe if you haven't already. All right, Kyle, Jackson Jobe out for the remainder of the season, unfortunately. We got that news yesterday. He's going to be getting Tommy John, which, you know, is unfortunate. Obviously wasn't one of like the top guys in the rotation, but a guy that we've been excited to see for a long time here in a Tigers uniform because top prospect, number 3 overall pick, made his debut last season right before the postseason, and this was the first time it was finally going to be, a full-time role. And I think a lot of Tigers fans were looking forward to seeing him progress, even though you knew he wasn't going to be a lights-out Cy Young type of guy right away. But that was always kind of the goal when you took a guy number 3 overall, and for you to lose out on a year and a half, if not more, of Jackson Jobe, probably not pitching until 2027 now. It's just unfortunate. It's a punch to the gut, not to mention 10-1 loss yesterday. You get blown out. Parker Meadows, like we mentioned, on a little bit of watch in terms of, hey, not off to the best start. Yesterday just sucked all around. It reminded me of the day that the Lions beat Dallas. The difference is the Tigers got blown out rather than doing the blowing out. But it reminded me of when Hutchinson got hurt. It's like, Lions still the best team in football, but that sucks and is going to suck down the road. Obviously not the same impact. Hutchinson well on his way to a Defensive Player of the Year. Jackson Jobe, not at all the case for him, but a guy that we all fell in love with, or maybe not all, but loved watching because you were excited to see him coming up every time. 22 years old, with that type of potential and that type of swing and miss abilities. It was always exciting when he was on the mound, and now you don't get to see him on the mound for probably anywhere from 12 to 18 months. And you take that and combine it with the fact that Casey Mize is starting to slip a little bit. Back-to-back outings where it just hasn't been great. Again, the bar was pretty low for Casey Mize coming into the season, but kind of blew those expectations out of the water and was a real contributor in April and May. And then the last 2 starts, it's just been shaky. Yesterday, 7 Ks, so good number there, 10 swing and miss pitches, but 8 hits and gave up 2 runs, including a home run. And that's infinitely better than his start last week where he gave up 60 pitches in the first 2 innings of the game. So if Casey Mize is starting to slip a little bit and Jackson Jobe is not going to be in the rotation anymore, I think the Tigers should go try to find this year's Jack Flaherty. And what I mean by that is the best pitcher that gets moved at the deadline, at least the best right-handed pitcher that gets moved at the deadline. And someone came to mind, former Cy Young winner, 29 years old, right-handed pitcher, Sandy Alcantara. He's having a terrible season. His ERA starts with a 7. It's a very bad number. But this is a guy who won a Cy Young 3 seasons ago, led the MLB in innings pitched, completed games, a WAR of 8, just ridiculous numbers in 2022. ERA spikes in 23 and then gets Tommy John surgery. Returns this season, 3-7 record, 7.14 ERA, a 1.5 WHIP. The same amount of Ks as earned runs. It's not been great. You know what that screams to me? The Tigers are in a buy low situation. Buy low on someone who's shown in recent years. It's not like we're going back 5, 6, 7, 8 years. This was 3 years ago. Buy low on someone who has Cy Young upside and introduce them to Chris Fetter. Here you go, Chris. Here's your next fix-me-up project. The same way you took on Jack Flaherty when he was coming off the worst season of his entire career. Played in St. Louis, gets traded to Baltimore. It was a disaster all around. He was honestly lucky he got another starting job. And the Tigers brought him in. Chris Fetter fixed him up. They trade him at the trade deadline. Get Sweeney and Lorenzo back. Goes and wins the World Series. Comes back to Detroit and once again is pitching. I don't know if one of the best right-handed pitchers in baseball is. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but he's pitching at a very high level right now. I think if you bring in a guy like Sandy, who's shown in recent years Cy Young caliber upside, maybe he never gets back to that, but I think Chris Fetter could fix this guy up, and you add another arm to the rotation. That'd give you Skubal, Flaherty, and Alcantara. And suddenly, I think you're looking at a pretty scary 3-man rotation. Then you can deal with Olsen and Mize and make your decision based from there. But just because Mize has had a decent season and a good season for his standards, and just because Reese Olsen has been one of your better pitchers in the last 2 seasons doesn't mean you still shouldn't be trying to go out and upgrade those positions. And I think trading for Sandy not only would be a buy low situation where you get to hold on to McGonigal and hold on to Clark and maybe give up one of your top 100 prospects. I think that'd be a situation where obviously you added a third guy to your already awesome duo. But you get him for another 2 years is the key part here. He's under contract for a minimum 2 years. Then you can have your team option in 27. This to me screams buy low, bring a guy in with plenty of upside, and it shouldn't be that much of a risk considering his ERA right now and the fact that he hasn't had that much success. It wouldn't cost very much, I don't think. And there's a tremendous amount of upside there. I like Olsen, I like Casey Mize, but this is a clear chance to make your team better, and I think why not do it? Especially if Jobe's going to be out for a year and a half, 2 years.
Would you say that this current version of Sandy's contract is viewed as a bad contract? $17.3 million this and next year with that club option, obviously.
He's a 7 ERA.
Right. So you would agree that it is. Right now, he's on a bad contract.
Yes, but it's also less than Jack Flaherty's making, like in the grand scheme of things. So if you can get Jack Flaherty type of production out of him, all of a sudden it's an amazing contract.
That might be an ask, though. I mean, he is having a terrible season.
Horrendous, but back-to-back good starts, notably against the 2 worst offenses in baseball.
That's
Colorado
fair.
and Pittsburgh.
I just think that, I don't know, what if he sucks still? And then you have him on the books for the following season now, too. I think it'd be better off getting a guy on an expiring. I get the reason for wanting a guy with 2 years because Jobe is going to miss next year, too, likely. So you have that starter for this and next year. But I don't know. It's going to cost much less for a guy on an expiring rather than a guy with an extra year. That could end up being a bad contract if he just still sucks.
Do you have someone in mind? Because it sounds like you do.
I mean, I would prefer them to go after one of the 2 guys in Arizona with Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. Zach Gallen, a former, top pitcher in the National League, having a solid season. Arizona, they're not bad. That's the only issue. That face was crazy.
Sorry. I keep forgetting we're on the stream. Someone just hit a nuts shot. Someone eagled a crazy... Sorry, I totally forget I'm on the screen. My bad.
Come on, man. We're talking about baseball.
I know. Keep going.
But as I was saying, it's a tougher situation because the Diamondbacks aren't bad, but they're not good. They're 34-34. Just lost Corbin Burns for the year as well, just like the Tigers lost Jackson Jobe. And they're also in the best division in baseball, right? They're 34-34, but they're in 4th. And, some good amount of distance between the third place team and the Padres, who are 38-29. So it's going to be tough for them to really legitimately tell themselves they can be a playoff team. Both Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen in the final year of their deals, I think they would be relatively cheap. They lost Burns. It seems like the season might be coming to an end for them. I would like to go get one of those guys if they are available.
In the comment section on YouTube, we've got what about Walker Buehler or Zach Gallen? So some echoing from what you said with Allen. Walker Buehler, another option, but I don't think Boston right now at least is in a position to sell. Maybe they are a month from now.
Potentially, yeah.
Definitely a situation to monitor, but as of right now, definitely not sellers. Quite yet. But that's the way every baseball team kind of operates. Like, you got to get a lot closer to the deadline before you understand if you're...
For instance, Gallen in a similar situation to Sandy, where he's having a poor year this year. Not quite as bad. He's got the 5.15 ERA, though, so far this season in 14 starts, whereas he's been a Cy Young caliber pitcher the 3 years prior to that. So I don't know.
It'll be interesting, just to say the least. Are you set on bringing in another starter? Because I think I'm not dead set on it. If they end up going arm, I'm not going to be mad at it. But I don't know. I think there's going to be some good starters that get dealt at this year's deadline, specifically guys with a lot of upside. And I wouldn't be opposed to bringing one in, especially knowing you're not getting Jobe next year either. And Casey Mize starting to slip it a little bit. Olsen, kind of a guy who's been on and off IR or IL for the last year and a half. So I'm not opposed at all to bringing in a new arm, and that's not something I was really open to until yesterday, and now I'm like, that seems like an obvious pickup.
Right. I'm not opposed, but we've talked about how much we have promise in Sawyer Gibson-Long. Kiter Montero has been a fun little young project. And then also Alex Cobb, I think coming back is important if he does come back. He's in rehab right now with West Michigan. So I would like to see, if you can get anything out of Cobb first and if SGL can eventually turn into a real piece in this rotation. Because if you don't have to trade for a starter, you don't have to trade for a starter.
But
right?
Is that really going to happen this year with Sawyer Gibson-Long? Are you banking on Alex Cobb to do anything this season? I'm not.
Yeah, I am. They paid him $15 million.
That's the hope.
To not play all year?
He's never healthy. I don't feel comfortable rolling into a postseason where it's like, yeah, he's had like a few starts under his belt.
I mean, he's been pitching in the minors over the last week or so. Like, he is going to return relatively soon.
Yeah.
By the All-Star break, I would imagine.
I would really hope so.
And then Reese Olson has to return at some point, too. So, I'm not against them acquiring a starting pitcher, but I still think the other two needs are probably higher if you can get something out of Cobb, Olson comes back, and one of those other guys can be a mainstay on the roster.
You can argue, based on their results with pitching by chaos, a bullpen arm or another right-handed bat is a bigger priority anyway. I'm just throwing out the idea of, hey, maybe a starter's not the bad route to go. At Arid & Garcia and Farm Bureau Insurance, they understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs. Life, home, auto, fiscal insurance, it's all available with Farm Bureau, Arid & Garcia. The team's got over 100 years of combined experience. They know exactly how to put you in the best position. I'm telling you, experience matters. That's why Arid & Garcia Farm Bureau Insurance is the way to go. I mentioned Parker Meadows. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button at all. I don't. But with that being said, we got to locate where that thing is. And with that being said, I think it's time to have a conversation about when it's okay to have the conversation about Parker Meadows. It's coming up here, Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Great Lakes bounce back winners on Wednesday, beating Wisconsin 4-2 to even up the series at 1 apiece. And the story of the game for the Loons, once again, Eric Swan continuing his stellar June, picking up right where he left off after that no-hit performance against South Bend. And Wednesday night, back at home in Dow Diamond, put up his career high in Ks with 8 of them. Here was his 7th strikeout to close out the 4th inning.
1-2. Swing and a miss from Dinges. Swan matches a career best 7 strikeouts. Another slider, another T-Rat swinging through it. It's been quite a June for Eric Swan.
Swan picks up the win for the Loons, going 6 innings, 8 Ks, allowing just 1 run and only 2 hits. Great Lakes looks to take the lead in the series with Wisconsin on Thursday. First pitch, 7:05. Pregame coverage, 6:50. 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Mary Draves, former Dow executive and leader in the Midland community.
I think as we get a little bit older, we start to care less about what other people think.
That's a great point, yeah.
And so as I've gotten older, I think I've become way more comfortable in who I am and what I stand for. And, when you get to that point, all of a sudden, you become less apologetic about who you are. You also, you're like, hey, this is me, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And I think in my 20s versus maybe I'm in my 50s now, it's a very different person. And that's just really part of the continuum of growth.
Yeah. Listen to the full interview with Lisa on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh. Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at premiertilestone.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage.
A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Michigan. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Welcome back in. Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt. Look, I don't think it's time to have a conversation about Parker Meadows, but I want to have a conversation so we can figure out when it's okay to have a conversation about Parker Meadows. And what I mean by that is he's now played 9 games since his return, and the numbers have been quite alarming. 9 games, 5 walks, 8 Ks, yikes, 5 for 31. 2 of those 5 hits, though, were in his season debut against the White Sox. He had the double, he had the triple, and ever since then, he's only had 3 hits with a 536 OPS. I don't think he needs to be sent down. I want to make that clear. I don't think there's any usage in him being sent down because he's already been through that. He's already there earlier this year. He was raking in his rehab starts down in AAA. We saw how it benefited him last season when they sent him down because he was hitting basically 100, and he comes back and is a 294 hitter the rest of the season with over 800 OPS. Look, I don't think he needs to be sent down. I think he's mastered the AAA level. There's no incentive. He needs to figure out how to hit at the big league level more consistently. So sending him down to AAA I don't think helps. But again, I look at him in the starting lineup every day. In that leadoff spot, it's like I don't feel good about our leadoff hitter hitting 160 right now. I don't think it's been enough time to move him yet out of that leadoff spot. Again, I just want to know when it is okay. How many games of this has to happen until we have a conversation about it? This is the premeditated conversation. This is we're in the waiting room to have the conversation about Parker Meadows.
We might be outside of the waiting room.
Yeah, we haven't even walked in the building yet.
Right. We're like in the parking lot, like thinking about should I go in?
Should I go in? Yeah.
Am I too early?
Use another girlfriend analogy. Am I too early to pick her up?
Yeah, it's first date. Yeah, you showed up at the place across the street of her apartment.
You're just
aimlessly 40 minutes early, and you're like,
You're just aimlessly driving around the block because you don't want to show up too early.
Right. I'm I don't want her to see me out in my car outside of her window. I'm just gonna keep driving.
I don't think we're quite there. I think we are just sitting in the parking lot, wondering whether or not to go in and have the Parker Meadows conversation. Then that happens, and then after that, if it's still these type of numbers, then we actually start to get to the bottom of this. Again, I think it's too early. It's only been 9 games.
I also think he gets a longer leash because of what happened last season. And
what
he
does
did get sent down
defensively.
because of it, but a major turnaround last year. It is not nearly as bad right now as it was at this point last year for him.
I mean, he has a 536 OPS and a 167 average.
It's also
last year when he got
games.
sent down, he had a 100 average.
But it was on a big time sample size too.
Yes, way more than 9 games. He got sent down in May, I believe. So yeah, this is very much premature. But that's kind of the incentive and the point of this conversation. I don't know what it is either. I really don't, because you'd think that that's a guy that should be at the top of the lineup, drawing a ton of walks. He's only drawn 5. Had a backwards K yesterday. He just doesn't seem to be getting a huge hit on the It doesn't feel like he's having great contact right now. It feels like the singles that he are hitting is kind of blooping into the outfield, finding the gap. He's not crushing baseballs yet. That's okay, because he was out of baseball activities for a long time. I'm just saying this is something that I'm monitoring going into tonight's game and the weekend series here. We need to see a little bit of progression. On Monday, I wouldn't like to be having another conversation about Parker Meadows, because that first
after
day
another
he came
series,
back,
then you start to think about it.
That first day he came back when he hit the double and the triple, we were talking about it like what a spark plug to the lineup, instantly making plays. The record with him is out of this world when he plays. He's got the gold glove, hits for power, has the speed, helps out on the base paths. All that stuff is great, but you have to be able to get on base. And he's got a .330 on base percentage right now, so a lot of room to improve here for Parker Meadows, and I think a pretty big series for him coming up. And there's only this much expectation on him because the Tigers are winning so many games, that the blind spots and the weaknesses shine even brighter because everyone else has been so good. So when you see that player come up to bat, it's like 167 average. It sticks out. That's the unfortunate part for Parker Meadows here. There's less wiggle room than there was last year because there's more expectation on the Tigers this season.
It also doesn't help that a guy like Wenceel Perez, who was also injured for a large chunk of the start of the season, has come back and been a really good bat right away. Mm-hmm. That's also probably added some pressure onto Meadows where it's like, he obviously brings a ton of value defensively and on the base pads, but Wenceel Perez is bringing that value with his bat right now. So
yeah. And is a switch hitter, someone that, if Parker Meadows continues to trend in this direction, someone I wouldn't be surprised if they end up taking that leadoff spot. I don't know why we haven't seen that at all this year already. I mean, it was designated for Ibanez, and then Carpenter would get in some work too, and now it's Jones getting some run at the leadoff spot. I'm not opposed at all to putting Wenceel there if these Parker Meadows numbers continue to struggle. And again, we're early to the conversation, but I think you and I are both well aware of that. We've made it clear that we're not panicking about Parker Meadows. The panic button's way over there somewhere. It's in the other room, but we're located. We see it.
Yeah, you know where it's at.
Because we've hit it before is the problem. They hit it last season, and they set them down. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but we'll see. We'll see. 989-837-6125. That's the number to get a hold of us here. The Mitt messages. We've also got our YouTube. Please go subscribe if you haven't already. We'd appreciate it. Can't even really explain how much we'd appreciate it if you did that, if you haven't already. Got a lot to get to still today, looking at the rundown. We've still got some news to get to. We got to get to our lock of the day because, Kyle, we're back to red hot. That's the one thing I've been asked about more than anything since the show started. What's the lock of the day today? What's the lock of the day going to hit? Should I tell you? I don't know. I wouldn't throw it out there if I didn't want everyone to tell me.
Well, you're back to an even 4-4 through 8 shows.
Even 4-4, but how many units am I up?
Up over a unit and a half.
There we go.
1.62 units up
all
time.
That is still to come as well. Keep listening. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. Still a lot more to talk about here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
Calling all royalty. Join the Great Lakes Loons for Princess Night, presented by High Country Jumpers. Saturday, June 21st. The Loons will take the field in magical Moana-inspired jerseys. Stick around after the game for a dazzling fireworks loontacular, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. It's a night fit for the whole family. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Need to hire fast? Let Spherion do the heavy lifting and get your great candidates without the hassle. Their simple online hiring platform makes finding the right employees quicker and easier than ever. Post jobs, review applicants, and connect with top talent all on your phone or computer. It's that easy. Whether you're staffing short-term projects or building the dream team, Spherion has your back. Get back to running your business while Spherion handles the hiring headache. Hiring made simple, smart, and online. That right there is Spherion. All right, Kyle, hit us with the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, back into the news today. Tonight, we got Stanley Cup Finals back in action. I love that when these have been working out, where we got one game one night, one game the next, with NBA and NHL, obviously. Game 4, Panthers versus Oilers. Who you got?
Oilers. Although the Panthers, I picked
dominated.
I picked the Oilers to win the series. I'm not going to change my mind on that quite yet. But yeah, Game 3 was rough, man. That was the first time it was like, whoa. One of these teams is clearly better than the other one, and that can change on a night-to-night basis. But Game 3 was the first time it was like there was some clear separation between those two teams, because Game 1 and 2 are
after OT and double OT.
Yeah, I'm excited for that tonight though. But they do that.
I hope the Oilers win.
They do that on purpose though. The alternating days. It's the days that there's neither on is very unfortunate. We're about to enter a very dangerous time of sports, where there's no NBA finals on, there's no NHL finals on. It's really just training, mini camp and training camp updates, and the Tigers. That is right.
And golf, of course,
And golf. Good point.
Then we got that carry. All right, we got some news that came during the beginning of our show. Shamar Stewart, we talked about him yesterday. He has officially left the Bengals mandatory minicamp. He was showing up, doing drills and stuff, just had been in a contract dispute. He's gone now after he's upset because the Bengals are asking for certain clauses to be implemented in his rookie contract.
What a joke, man. The Bengals organization is such a joke. They are there's no comparison for them because they just went to a Super Bowl the last few years, and they're going to ride on the backs of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase for the next 5 to 6 years. But guess what? This is secretly, when you look behind the curtain, dysfunctional. Just give them the contract. Why is there so many contract disputes with this team? And 0 with the Lions, which is completely irrelevant to this conversation. But you can't even get your rookie signed. He's got. I can't remember a story ever being like this, where a rookie, a first-round rookie that you selected, you wanted to be on your team more than any other guy on the board, is leaving minicamp.
It's unreal.
I don't think I've ever heard of anything like this.
No, we don't hear about stuff like this very often. It's crazy. All right, moving on. Just talked about it. U.S. Open going on. We'll give you a quick update on the leaderboard. JJ Spawn leading all golfers 4 under through 14. Rory, who Ben recently just picked to win, was just hitting out of the thickest grass I've ever seen, and now he's doing it again.
Yeah. Right into the bunker. Right into the bunker. That's not good.
But Scotty Scheffler, who's a favorite, will be popping in later.
If you hit it into the rough, you're just screwed. Look at this course, John. Look at how thick the grass is. How are you supposed to one of the best golfers in the world just hit the ball 7 feet because this grass is so long in the rough.
Bryson just had 2 different chips that went 2 feet in front of him out of this thick grass, ended up sinking a putt to save bogey, but it's tough, man.
By the way, Spawn or Bryson, who do you think can bench press more?
It's a good question. Spawn is kind of jacked.
Spawn's huge, man.
Shout out to John Vicari, who just pulled up, by the way.
And then he left.
All right, back into more news. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but Kevin Durant, the teams that are interested in trading for him have been officially reported. It's not much of a surprise if you've been following the situation, but Knicks, Rockets, Spurs, Timberwolves, and Heat.
I think the NBA is rooting for him to go to the Knicks. I'm selfishly rooting for him to go to the Spurs. I think him and Wemby would be a great pairing here. Because Wemby's still the guy, right? Wemby's still, it's his franchise. It's not like Kevin Durant goes there and suddenly you're expected to win a title, because that would be the expectation in New York. It's immediately like, hey, if you don't bring us a title, this is a failure. Whereas I think if he goes to the Spurs, there's a sense of, we'll be patient with Wemby. We're not necessarily considering ourselves title contenders yet, but the upside for that to happen is there, and you get to keep the second overall pick. It's just accelerates the timeline a little bit.
Yeah. It makes a little more sense than going all in for Giannis, as crazy as that sounds.
I agree. Because you'd have to give up the second pick to do so. And the more I think about it, I selfishly would love to see what Giannis and Wemby looks like. I just can't imagine anyone trying to score on that team. But if you're realistically thinking about it from a Spurs standpoint, Giannis is 31. Wemby's 20, 21?
21, I think.
You got to win one in the next couple of years if that's the case. I mean, I get it. Guys are playing a lot longer these days.
Do you? I mean, as Giannis is gone, you still have Wemby, though.
Yeah, no, you're right. But you're mortgaging a lot to give that up, where you could just take a rookie right here at the second pick, Dylan Harper.
Totally.
Move on.
They're definitely going to do something. And it sounds like KD wants to go to the Spurs, too.
Yeah, they want to be a playoff team next year. Also, are we sure Wemby's healthy? Like, is he going to play?
He's been doing that monk stuff over in China, so.
Monk Wemby. The monk.
Scary. Looks more like an alien than he already did with the bald head. Okay, Tarik Skubal on the mound tonight for the Tigers. Game 3, 6:35 with the Orioles, not the Oilers.
Nice. Good save.
So no Skubal lock of the day tonight, right? You already basically shoved that away. I'm not giving it away or anything, but.
No, typically when Skubal's on the mound, we're going to do something with the Tigers or with Tarik Skubal, but today's unique.
Typically.
Today's unique.
I don't think you've done it once.
Last Friday I didn't do it? I feel like I did.
Last Friday you ripped likely what your bet is today.
We're going down on the ship. We're not jumping ships, okay? We're not getting on a life raft. It's going to hit.
Right. Once this is gone, then lock of the day will really start to take off. All right, last thing. One more NBA news. Jaylen Brown reportedly just had right knee surgery. Expected to be back by training camp, they say. But also Boston already in a situation without Jason Tatum all of next season. So wouldn't be shocked if they didn't rush Jaylen Brown back.
Both those guys going to be under contract for the Celtics?
Yes.
Okay.
Pistons trade for one of their guys, potentially.
Potentially. You mean like one of the reserve guys?
Yeah. Well, not a reserve, but a Drew, a Derek White. Derek White probably doesn't get traded, but
I don't know if Drew's so expensive these days, man.
He is.
For someone who at the end of the day is probably the Pistons'
the price
third
to
best
get
player.
him will be cheap. Like very cheap.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of him, it sounds
Right.
like, to shed cap. This whole new salary cap stuff is just, I try to understand it, and it's just so confusing.
It's very confusing.
The new apron and all this stuff, there's basically a hard cap, but there's not a hard cap. But if you go over the hard cap, you can't execute most of these trades. You can't sign guys that in the middle of the season. It's just weird.
And there's
stuff.
different
I don't
levels to
understand
everything,
it.
different tiers. I like to think I'm on top of it, but then I see something new, and then I'm like, okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way about it. The exact same way. Hey, with Skubal on the mound tonight, do you remember that exact number that he gave to the Barstool guys? Actually, we have the sounder. Why don't we just play that?
Sounds like you love Detroit.
I love Detroit, yeah.
Yeah?
I do, yeah.
Like, for the rest of your life, love Detroit?
Sure.
Like, we could sign a contract right now. 10 years, $425.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
Shout out those guys for just straight up asking him. Can we sign a contract right now? We should have done that with Pittman when we had Pittman on. Next time we get an athlete on,
Right,
let's just try to work an extension. I don't think we could pull it off though. So let's just, for the sake of it, say Tarik Skubal would in fact sign a contract, $42 million, 10 years. It's a long time, right? 37 years old by the time it's done. 38 years old by the time it's done. Like, that's a pretty long-term commitment. But you haven't spent a long-term contract on a guy to that much money in a decade. And you happen to draft another one. Actually, when did Miguel actually sign that extension? Because it had to have been more than a decade ago. So it's been a decade plus since you've actually given one of these insane deals to someone that, I guess Miguel wasn't homegrown, but a guy that you considered
Javi
your
Baez
guy.
isn't an insane deal.
$25 million per? Yeah, it is. But that wasn't Scott Harris, to be fair.
2016, Cabrera signed.
No, that doesn't
never
make
mind.
sense.
Yeah, never mind.
So either way, you haven't given someone this crazy, like, groundbreaking deal in over a decade. You have to consider yourself lucky to be able to have a guy in your team to do that, right? If there was a salary cap in this sport, which there should be, it would be a no-brainer because you have to spend the money regardless. If they weren't to extend him, it would be by choice. It'd be, we don't want to pay this guy. If there's cap, you do it because you spend the money regardless. I believe there is no price that's too much to give this guy. You happen to have the best pitcher in the world. There's zero excuses to not get him signed to this long-term deal. And if $42 million is the price, give him 44. Make it happen. To your point, I don't think this is a Skubal thing as much as it is a Scott Boras thing. Right? His agent is going to bring this thing to free agency. I don't think he's going to get signed this offseason unless Tarik Skubal really just says, hey, thanks for representing me, Scott Boras. I want to be a Tiger for life. Let's make this work. That's the only outcome where that happens. But I guarantee Scott Boras is telling Skubal we're not signing anything this year.
I think even if he wants to be a Tiger for life, which it sounds like he does, he's still going to wait this thing out, you know?
Probably. Which is the unfortunate part about it. Although maybe not too unfortunate for us.
Or they should have just done it a year ago.
Talk about. I don't think that was possible. They lowballed him a year ago. Remember? There's a report that came out that it wasn't competitive.
Lowball him a year ago.
I agree with that. Make him the highest paid pitcher in baseball. If he says no, say, okay.
But now making him the highest paid pitcher in baseball isn't enough.
No, he's going to become the highest paid pitcher in baseball,
Right,
not
exactly.
named Shohei Ohtani. It's too late. He will become that. It's just a matter of how much is it going to cost. And to my point, I don't think there is a price that is too much for Tarik Skubal here.
It was 2014, by the way, for Cabrera.
Post the Triple Crown. So it took a guy winning Triple Crown, an MVP, for them to give him the extension. What about
and they
two
also
Cy
gave him the
Youngs? Will
extension
that
with
work?
2 years left on his deal.
Oh, so they got it done real early.
So it was essentially like if they would have extended Skubal at the beginning of this season.
Yeah, but had Miguel already signed an original contract?
Yeah.
With the Marlins?
But he had 2 years left of that deal.
Yeah, but that wasn't like team control, right? That was like an actual contract signed.
Right.
Or no?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yes.
Skubal's still under team control. It's crazy how little the Cy Young winner is making, you know? It's crazy how stupid the entire system is for these guys. Don't be surprised if there's a lockout. Don't be surprised. Because this, like, the way that players get paid, it doesn't make any sense. Why is Riley Green getting paid less than $1 million a season when he's about to be a 2-time All-Star? Makes no sense. 989-837-6125. We got the YouTube chat going live as well. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll take one more time out. Wrap things up the same way we always do. 2 traditions to end our Thursday show. Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandell.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland. Devastating news for the Tigers came last night. Jackson Jobe out for the remainder of 2025 with Tommy John surgery. And this potentially impacts what the Tigers are going to do at this year's upcoming trade deadline. We heard from Scott Harris say they are going to be active at the deadline, and they want to figure out what their weaknesses is with this team before making any radical moves to acquire players. Well, a weakness now could be the back end of this starting rotation. Tarik Skubal, Jack Flaherty, who has now bounced back with a few good starts in a row, and Casey Mize seem to be the only healthy starters right now for the Tigers, and Mize has struggled in his last few outings. Reese Olson, we really don't know an update on his injury status. And then your fifth starter is a combination of Sawyer Gibson-Long, Kiter Montero, a couple of young guys that are still raw, trying to get their experience in, and Alex Cobb, who we haven't seen yet this year, and who knows when we'll see him. So the Tigers' rotation that coming into the season seemed like one of the most deepest parts of the team and strongest parts, now looks like it's going to need some help come late July. It sucks that Jobe's going to miss all of this year and likely a good chunk of next year, but the Tigers can't let it hinder their potential World Series run in 2025. Bullpen arm and a left side infielder were the main needs for the Tigers at the deadline. Go ahead and add starting pitching to that list. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more. With 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
Another episode takes over Dow Diamond. Star Wars Night with the Great Lakes Loons returns Saturday, June 14th. Immerse yourself in the echoes of the Empire saga throughout the game, culminating with an epic fireworks loontacular. Presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. Tickets are selling fast. Visit loons.com before they're gone.
Thank the maker.
This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loons staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesapeake, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Kyle, I thought of a question during break.
Yeah, what is it?
Over under 5.5 hours it takes you and I to go through this course that's being played at the U.S. Open right now. 5.5 hours, 18 holes.
Oh, man. Just you and me playing?
Yeah.
Under.
Are you
I
sure?
guess benefit of the doubt. Are we walking or riding?
Riding.
Yeah, we beat that under.
Dude, I think it's on average taking us like 20 minutes a hole. If we're actually lining
then we're
up
absolutely
shots,
not beating that time at all.
I don't get it, dude. This looks impossible. All right, let's do our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
So all time we're up 1.6 units. We are 4-4, and 3 of those losses have been betting on Connor McDavid to score a goal, which he has not done yet in the Stanley Cup Finals. So if we would have just picked anything else and say we go 50-50, those 3, I guess you can't go 50-50.
Right, if you would have picked anything else, just want to make sure that's...
Yes, thank you.
That's known.
We could be up a lot right now, but we're not. Because Connor McDavid has let us down. Is he going to let us down again? The smart man. Actually, I take that back. The dumb man, the simple-minded man would say, we're getting away from Connor McDavid. We can't bet on this again. That's what the fearful man would think. I fear nothing. So what we're going to do is bet on it again. We're going to quadruple down on Connor McDavid to score a goal because there's 0 chance in hell he goes through the entire Stanley Cup without scoring a goal. Did Leon Draisaitl go through the entire Stanley Cup last year without scoring a goal? Maybe, but we're not going to talk about Leon Draisaitl. We're talking about Connor McDavid, the best hockey player of all time to not have a ring, the best player in sports right now to not have a ring. He's going to find the back of the net today, and once he does, we will not bet on it again, but I'm telling you, we are not jumping ship. We are not aborting the plane. We are not jumping. We are going down with it. If he doesn't score, we'll do it again for Game 5. I refuse to not bet on it and then him score.
Anytime
that I will not
the
let
phrase
happen.
quadruple down comes into play, you know this is just an L.
Whoa. Ron said in the YouTube chat, I'm putting my son's college fund on this lock. No, whoa. I am not advising you to do that, sir. Dude,
you literally called it the lock of the day.
It's because it's a lock.
You should be advising him to do it.
It's because it's a lock. He's going to score. But just don't bet on anything that you can't afford to lose. That's just generic messaging. Dude,
shout out to Ron. I really hope that's a joke.
Dude, our guy Vakari yesterday asked me like 4 times. He was like, how many threes does Tyrese Halliburton have? Like, how many threes does he have? And then he texted me when he hit his 3rd three. You texted me after Tyrese Halliburton hit his 3rd three, and we were like, thank you. John, how much money did you bet on Tyrese Halliburton yesterday? Oh, my God. It was a lock, though.
It was a lock, yes.
Your mom bet on it? She didn't. Oh. Well, hey.
That must be why John's rocking the fresh kicks today, huh?
He went and bought himself a new pair. Yeah, so today is Connor McDavid to score a goal. Plain and simple. We're going to come back tomorrow with a 4-1 record, 3-1 record on the week. Looking to make it 4-1 tomorrow. We'll find something for Friday. But yeah, we're off to a good start. 4-4 up 1.6 units. But what are the odds on it today? Plus 145 again?
Plus 145,
Which means better than even. So we've got a chance.
You're up all time, and you're up on the week right now. You're up just over a unit on the week right now.
So even a loss, we're still up on the week. With a win, we'd be up basically 2 units on the week.
Nearly.
Nearly.
Yeah, over 2 actually, 2.5.
Hey, here's what's important. We only have to hit one of the next 2 days to be positive on the week. And that would be back-to-back weeks. The show's only existed for 2 weeks.
Unless you bet something that's like terrible odds,
Minus 110. Yeah, but we don't do that here,
Right.
I think we only have one bet so far that's minus odds, right? Everything else has
just
been
the
plus.
one, and it didn't hit.
It was the Chet thing?
Yeah.
Dude, because I was debating yesterday whether to do Chet over 14.5 points or Tyrese Haliburton threes, and then Chet had like 12 points in the first quarter. I was like, uh-oh. Then Tyrese Haliburton, fourth quarter, step back. Top
You
the
need
key.
to step up.
Bang! Except we didn't get a bang call. That's okay. All right, Tyrese Haliburton, not 3 threes. That was yesterday. Connor McDavid, anytime goal, plus 145. That is today's Lock of the Day.
Lock of the Day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Our second tradition to close every single show is as followed. We predict Colin Cowherd's Open. If you're listening in your car in 100.9, the Mitt, in the Great Lakes Bay region, you got Colin Cowherd, America's smartest takes over at noon. And Kyle and I predict what his Open's going to be every single day. Nobody scored a point yesterday because he led with Aaron Rodgers for
Of course,
the second
right?
consecutive
Big
day.
news going on with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, we were just debating that in the break. I don't think it's the biggest story in football, but it's one of them still. I think the biggest story in football is the Shamar Stewart thing.
They led with it on Monday.
And Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
It's my turn to go first. There's no way he leads with Aaron Rodgers again for like the third day in a row.
Aaron Rodgers did get married.
Yeah, but that was yesterday's news. That was really Tuesday's news, and then he talked about it yesterday. I would guess, dude, I don't know. This one's going to be, you know what? I'm actually going to lean into the Bengals thing. Dysfunctional Bengals organization.
Really? I did that yesterday.
I think it's got an even bigger deal now because of Shamar Stewart leaving camp, the rookie, first-round pick. Not at their mini camp because they won't sign him. Bengals dysfunction, I think, is the way to go. I'm leaving the NBA on the table for you.
Right, that's what I was going to say. The issue is, what's the angle with the NBA? Is it like a, OMG, the Pacers can actually win this thing?
You think Colin says OMG?
Right. Or is it more of a, like, Thunder, if they lose this, it's the worst loss in finals history? Like, what approach does he take?
I know which direction I would take, but I'm not. You do you, man.
I will go with the Pacers have a chance to be the worst NBA Finals champion ever. Like that take.
That's
How
so
like this
good.
is the worst finals team to win ever if they do.
Ever?
I mean, probably. Or like, I mean, he doesn't have to say ever, but like.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The generic point. I guess
It's the most random team to win the finals ever in our lifetime, post-merger.
Yeah. Post-merger.
I mean, like the
For
Rockets winning as a 6 seed in the 90s is crazy, but like they had Hakeem.
Top 12 player of all time, yeah.
Yeah, they have a top 5 guy in the game at the time, like you said, top 10-ish guy ever. The Pistons was random, but like they end up going to the Eastern Conference Finals 6 years in a row after that, so it obviously doesn't end up being random.
I mean, the Pacers were in the Eastern Conference Finals last season.
The Pacers aren't going to go to 6 straight conference finals.
I don't think so, but you never know. Honestly, if I were you, I would have went Thunder collapse.
route?
Yeah. I would have went Thunder collapse. I'm honestly kind of mad I didn't, but
I almost
he
went
likes
KD.
football, man. He likes football.
I almost went KD talk too.
That's
but I
not bad. KD to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Because that's what
But
it
I
would
didn't.
be. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
But he's a football guy at the end of the day. He openly is a football guy.
Even though I'm going basketball still.
Well, if they're not going to do Bengals dysfunction, there's not really a clear football lead. So actually, I think whoever wasn't going to go first, the NBA route was the way to go.
Yes.
You could have argued the NBA route was the way to go anyway.
That's what I thought. I thought you were taking NBA.
No. I'm going.
But I'll go Pacer side of things.
This Bengals thing really seems to be taking storm right now. So I'm gonna go with Bengals dysfunction. I'm up 2-1 all time in this game.
2-1, yeah.
Okay. We will continue to keep track of that throughout the rest of throughout the rest of history. for as long as this show goes on. 1 a week is the goal. All right, everyone. We appreciate you tuning in. You know what? I'm going to the community center after this. I need a break. I need a lift. I haven't got a lift in probably like 4 days. We've been so committed to putting a good show on. We've been so committed. What'd you say?
Said slacking.
Yeah, slacking at the gym because we've been working crazy hours, making sure we're ready to do a good show, and then of course the Loons games afterwards as well. Hope you guys make it out to the Loons games this weekend. Very excited about Star Wars night tomorrow, Saturday, and then Halloween night tomorrow, Pride night tonight. All right. With that being said, thanks for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow 9 a.m. as always right here on 100.9 The Mitt. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. Hope all of it was worth it. See you guys tomorrow.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 1.